of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, thank you guys for coming out this evening. Jose, can you hear me? Before we start the meeting, just want to let you guys know, if we could, just let's practice social distancing. If you can, and you would, please just respect what we're doing here and wear your mask as all possible to protect not just yourself, but your other fellow people that live in the community. With that, going forward, Becky or Herminia, can we do roll call? Becky, go ahead.
Seat 1.
He's eating.
I'm here.
Chair.
I don't know who's still going there.
Here, present.
Seat 2. District Attorney.
Here.
District Engineer.
Here.
District Manager. For the record, show that seat number 4, Denise Miller, is not present, or seat 3, Bruno.
Sounds good. Well, we have enough for a quorum, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Can y'all hear me?
Too loud.
Yes, District Treasurer, yes, we can. Sorry.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear, Mr. Boyd, loud and clear.
Very loud.
John, with number 2, do we have anything that we have to shift around for tonight's meeting?
No, I think we have.
Estoy en un meeting. Voy a apagar el teléfono. Yo te llamo. Omar llegó a tiempo. Omar llegó a tiempo. Después te llamo.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, whenever you're ready. All right, so do we have any additions, deletions, or substitutions to any agendas? We're good on that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Adoption of the agenda, we're good. Approval of the meeting minutes for May 27th, July 9th, July 22nd, and August 26th. Before we do that, did we make them adjustments that we talked about?
I did, it's there on that one.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? All right, motion does not carry. Oh, we have another board member coming here right quick. Hold on one second. Ma'am, we're gonna fine you $25 for every minute you were late. So you're in the red this month, Denise. You're in the red.
Oh, that's a good
I'm
one.
the one that lives the closest to him.
Don't get me going, that's a good one.
Thank you for coming out, Denise. So we've already done the call to order. As long as you have your mask on, we should be fine. According to Dr. Fauci. All right,
According to Dr. Fauci
today.
I can subject
All right.
change tomorrow.
So we have an approval, Denise, of the board, approval of meeting minutes for May 27th, July 9th, July 22nd, and August 26th on 2020. We have a motion on the floor. Can we get a second? Well, it'd be kind of hard to read all of them in like that. All right, second. Well, we have a motion on the floor.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Yep.
All right,
Aye.
approval meeting minutes passed. All right, we have public comments. Miss Maria Castillo, if you could present yourself, let us know where you live, and you've got the 3 minutes of fame.
Maria Castillo, 720 North Grand Street. I just had a question, and it's, I would like to direct it to our lawyer if
Okay.
possible. I remember about 10 years ago, when you guys would fix the ditches, which we're still figuring out when you guys are gonna start doing that again. The landowner,
Go ahead, hold on a minute. Go ahead.
I didn't say one thing, money.
landowners would get 3 loads of the fill that was taken out of the ditches. At this point, I was told that that stopped a couple of years back. Now, my question is this: if as a landowner, I pay Central County to fix the ditches, the roads, maintain the parks, why is it that if I need a load, I would have to pay Central County for something that I already paid for in my taxes? Why is that?
Can I answer that one, Mr. Attorney? Please.
We-
We
no-
didn't necessarily pay for that in your taxes, you're paying taxes for other reasons.
Okay,
The county, and that would be like me going to the county, the Henry County, and saying, I want some of that lime rock y'all got in that pile because I pay taxes. It doesn't work that way.
Okay,
It
this
just
is
doesn't work out.
my question, okay, this is the thing. That I know of, I'm paying to have the ditches, the roads, and everything, which is included within my taxes,
Okay.
correct or not?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay,
as well as myself, yes,
so this is the way a lot of residents have seen it, and this is why I'm here today.
yes, ma'am.
If I already paid for that service, which is dirt that you're pulling out of what I've already paid taxes on, why would I have to pay to get a load to my property when I've already paid on it? Why would I have to come back to Central County and repay for the dirt that you guys are pulling out that I've already paid for?
You haven't necessarily already paid for that dirt.
Didn't I pay to get it fixed and pull the
You may
dirt?
have paid to get it fixed, that don't mean you own the dirt.
Okay,
Yeah, I
but
thought-
did I remember, we used to get 3 loads a year.
We used to get.
Okay, why did that change?
Maria, there's a lot, so let me, you make a very good question. So let me explain something to you, being as a resident and a landowner here as well. There's many things that the Central County Water Control District did long time ago, that was not right.
Okay.
And one thing I think that you can see as being a landowner here, and I know you've been in Montour for a long time, and most of the board here is having to make tough decisions. We've come to a point, Maria, that we can't give things out for free anymore. We have deficits that we have to face, and we have to get creative in our spending, how to make revenue. And if you, as a resident, have to buy a load, it's not that much. I know people used to get stuff for free, but it's not. It's cheap. It's only $100 compared to 250, 240, 180. I see a lot of things. I see what you're saying, but it's as Mr. Alvarez says. It's just like, for instance, I love golfing. I pay taxes, but that doesn't mean Clueston Golf Course is gonna let me hit play for free.
Yeah.
Okay, but this,
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I think we can divide the dirt that we have, that it was surplus or whatever it was, that is in a pile of $100. But I think if we take the dirt out of the ditches, and we have a load to give away, I don't see no problem with that.
We don't have any to give away.
So I think if we split the dirt, not the ones we have in the stockpile for sale for $100, but for the ones that we take out of the ditches, and a resident needs it, I don't see a problem giving that away.
And that's a great point that you make, Louis, but that hasn't happened in many years, what you're saying.
Well, we can bring it back
What's that?
to that dirt that we're getting out of the ditches.
We haven't done that.
I'm sorry?
We haven't done that.
Okay, when we start doing it.
Yes, sir. Okay,
When we
that's,
start picking up that dirt,
okay,
instead of putting it on the same pile that wants for sale,
okay,
we can make a small little pile someplace,
okay.
and if a resident needs it, yeah, I guess you can request it through the office, and we can give it away.
that would be awesome.
What dirt are you talking about, Louis?
The one that dig out of the ditches.
Out of the swells?
Canals,
Yeah.
I'm assuming canals.
Oh,
The one that
canals?
canals, and the swells and the,
Because what we found in about an hour the other day of testing new equipment, that not only do you have to dig some out, but you gotta put some in. So we better be very careful what we give away, because we may have to buy some later on.
Okay,
We may need to start piling that stuff up and then seeing what we do with it, and once we're done or safely done, where we think we're okay, then start giving it away or whatever.
if I may,
so I hereby make a motion that if it comes to that, after the manager determines that he has enough surplus to back us up without taking away from the load that we have, that we offer it to the public, first come, first serve, and just 1 load per resident, not 3 loads. So everybody will get a little bit.
Motion on the floor. Second. Of course.
I would like to ask something, Mr. Albert. Mr. Albert, when, 10 years ago, you guys were still, the county was still doing the ditches? What's funny is, I lost 2 feet, and I have witnesses, 2 feet of my property line where my fence, and I had a menial, and I told you how many times a menial, when they were fixing the ditches, they took my dirt.
Well,
My
they-
fence line is going like this.
They need to put it back.
I've been asking, how many years ago? long time. How many years have I been saying it?
You need to
And
put
it
it
has
back.
not been done.
Well, I will see to it that you get it back. If it's come off your line when they're cleaner, that's a whole different story. Hey, listen, I've had it happen to me. I understand. You ain't gotta. I'm with you.
Okay, so.
That has to be replaced. No cost to you by the district.
I have asked for that for years, not years.
I
It's
understand.
outside on my they
Then-
took 2 feet. You've been to my property,
Put it on the list.
okay, and thank you so much. And leave it open, yes, and I'll come right back when you guys are ready to talk about getting dirt.
She did tell me about that.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know her house was the one on the beginning, and I went all the way to the back. And I
Understood.
So I,
Yes. Make sure you let us know. That needs to be taken care of. That is our responsibility.
Good question. Good question. We appreciate it.
Thank
We-
you.
We have another comment. Mr. Gonzalez, can you stand, state your name, where you live, and what is it you have for us?
Willie Gonzalez, 825 North Quita. I sent the attorney a request for October 17th. Thank you for getting back to me right away. All I need is an answer from the board, yea or nay, so we can continue. And yes, we're gonna go ahead and put out a hold harmless form, which everybody's gonna include their name, their date of birth, their address, and their signature on there, and that will be attached to that hold harmless, okay? And it will hold harmless Central County as well, directed by Mr. Romero. Is there anything you'd like to add to them, Mr. Romero?
Go ahead.
I received an email from Wally over the weekend about, can you talk a little bit about what you want to do and where you want to do it?
Well, we're bringing out horses, we do a horse caravan. Basically, I said the clubhouse, because that's our staging area where everybody's gonna meet. Everybody here in Montour knows the clubhouse. So therefore, that's where we're meeting at, and we're riding out. We're taking a ride, we're taking Hacienda all the way to Montour, making the left, come down Cabbage Palm,
Okay.
and just nice big circle, and end up back at the clubhouse.
Okay.
Where there, people are gonna be able to purchase food, because Tito Paella is gonna be there as well. There's no alcohol at all, everybody's been informed, and there's gonna be Kool-Aid and drinks and all that kind of stuff. In the parade, there's gonna be a DJ on there, where that DJ will be playing music as we're going along. We're getting, Mr. Whitten, Taylor Whitten. He says he's gonna provide safety to patrolmen to go ahead and guide us in that direction and back us up on that as well. But,
Where are you selling the food?
sorry,
Where are you selling the food?
where are we setting the food?
Yes, selling.
Selling the food. The food is gonna be right in front of the clubhouse.
Isn't that against clubhouse,
he's not selling food.
I'm not selling the food.
he said selling.
The thing is, the difference is, what we're doing is, we're gonna give vouchers out. What's a voucher? You can purchase $20 voucher. That first $20 voucher is to go ahead and,
Purchase of food.
you're gonna have the right to drinks and food, okay? That's gonna be for the DJ, that's gonna be for the parade, and that money it's gonna be donated.
Is that legal?
Yes.
Donating to who?
We're gonna have a different donation, but we're trying to find, I spoke to Mr. Emilio here, to see where we can find a donation thing here for Montura, for kids or anything that we can do here. But we're still working on that. But our main purpose is to get a permission from you guys to get that done.
Anybody on the board have any questions?
Comments or concern?
Or any legal advice from Mr. Romero.
For sure.
He never mentioned to me that they were gonna sell the food. He did mention to me about the horses, and I redirect him to Mr. Romero, because I know in the past with the 4-H, the attorney at that moment asked for release, harmless to sell the company. So, but about the selling at the clubhouse, it was being never allowed any sale.
Okay, actually, I can speak to them as well, because what they're trying to do is cover the cost of the DJ, the food,
And the cleaning up after the
all
horses.
expenses that they're putting together. They're getting the bandanas, they're getting the bracelets, so that's why they're using that money to cover that fund as well. It's not actually a sell, you can call it a sell, but it's more like a donation part. And whatever we had left over, we're gonna donate it to Witness Campaign, but Mr. Whitten and Fish said, thank you guys, but I have plenty of money right now. Just like
That's what he
that.
said.
Exactly, that's exact words. And I had somebody present as well.
John, would you like to speak on it?
Well, it's really, anytime anyone is going to use district property
Yes, sir.
for a private event, they need to get permission of the board.
And I think you've been here.
If you allow somebody to use the property, there's two things we have required in the past.
Okay,
One is a hold harmless agreement,
okay.
and it's like a release. And secondly, insurance. We would be named as an additional insured. And I think you once did something, some flea market or you had a.
You didn't do
We
it.
never did it. Okay, well, we talked about it.
And it was because of money. Money being transacted at the clubhouse.
So it's $1
He was
million
here.
is what you're, what
He
we're
was
asking?
here.
The main
He
reason-
insisted.
The main reason why the flea market was torn down was because of the money, because
Right.
of the sale of the clubhouse at that moment.
Right, but that's for profit. This is not for profit.
Well, I know, but I'm
Okay.
just saying.
Right, I understand that. And if you decide, if you need an insured, you want somebody insured as well, I just need to know who have you used in the past? In order for me to use that person as well, it doesn't matter what the cost is, but just to make sure that we cover our costs as well, and that takes money too.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just a general, commercial liability policy. Well,
For 1 day, correct?
Central County hasn't secured that. That would be up to you all. I think that.
It's just for.
Anytime this gets
To
presented.
provide it, right?
Pardon?
It's for him to present it to us.
Right.
Right.
Just naming Central County as an additional insurance.
additional
You should do
insurance.
that anytime, if I were to go on, to do something on anyone's property, they would say, hey, you gotta put me as.
Very aware with that. I'm very aware
So,
about that.
but the issue, I think, is a policy issue, it's not a legal issue, and that is, do you allow activities on Central County property? And if so, what kind of activities and under what conditions?
Understood.
So number one, it's gonna be, is it, and pardon, I don't know the details, is it in the lot next to the clubhouse, or is it in the clubhouse?
Well, it's not in the clubhouse, it's gonna be outside of the clubhouse.
I gotta listen.
By
I have to
the
go back.
mailbox area, so we're gonna set up 2 tents. That's where we're gonna have
To the
the
parking lot.
paella guy. Once we're done,
That's right.
everybody's gonna come out through there, those that are coming by, they're gonna pick up their plate of food. We're gonna have drinks on the parade as well going down. And what they suggested was we're gonna be giving away. They're gonna be giving away
Yo lo que
drinks,
no quiero
they're
es
gonna be giving
agua,
away. But again, we're gonna be.
Not alcohol, you mean? just
No,
soda.
no alcohol, sodas.
Okay, we mentioned that as
People
well.
are gonna be on
But
hold, but you
again,
can't
going
drink.
forward is, in order to cover that cost, we have organized it as to, people were gonna have a bandana, they're gonna be getting a bandana, they're gonna have a bracelet, so we identified as well, those in the parade. And the whole harvest written down and signed for, and that's where we're gonna go ahead, that's why we're getting the $20. We have spoken about 20, maybe 15, but again, there's a certain charge for that to cover costs.
Understood.
And then this will be for charity or something like that.
After we cover costs, whatever it is, whatever charity, I basically spoke to Arminio and said, and mark my words,
Yes.
does Central County have a charity that we can go ahead and donate that money to? We asked.
Okay.
How about your club? Don't you have a group?
Yes, we have a non-profit organization. Coño,
But Central County,
can I bring it up?
Central County, so Central County,
No, that's not Central County. We don't.
What you can, what you can do is, one idea, Orlando, is we have a big Christmas event every year.
He can donate to Central County.
Yeah.
Is that correct, John?
we can go ahead and donate it to the pastor over there, which he just mentioned. We can go
Right
ahead
here,
and donate
Becky.
it to a pastor, a church, or anything like that,
Yeah.
yeah, we can go ahead and donate it.
And you can donate to the.
We'll donate it and go ahead and give that to Thanksgiving is coming up.
Yeah, that's-
Thanksgiving is coming up, so we'll donate that money to
Mr.
somebody
Chair?
for Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
I hereby make a motion that we approve.
Yeah, well, hold on one second. We just wanna see if they have any questions, but we'll hold on that one motion. Anybody else have questions?
Can we use it for the information of the church?
Right, and we wanted to
do on the 31st?
I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to probably follow the same guidelines as well, for sure.
No, but I'm asking, could we use the donation he's gonna make?
Actually, wherever he wants to donate it to, that's up to him.
On the 31st of October, I'm planning, a horse ride also for the children.
Okay.
On the 31st. If we need insurance for that, do we need insurance for that also? Because of the horse riding?
Yeah,
So
especially because of.
can we use the money he's donating for that activity? So we don't take it out of the,
No.
out of the,
I'm not, no, definitely not, because we're gonna, I have a partner as well on here, and I need to make a,
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a
Well-
suggestion.
be clear when you speak, right?
Hold on, hold on. Any more questions? Hold on, hold on.
I have no more.
Any questions?
Yes,
Hold on one second.
before I will vote on this issue, I wanna know who the charity is, and I want it in writing that the money's going that
Give me
way.
information. Espérate.
This, I'm not sure of that,
Give me
I've seen
information.
too much of that now.
Mr. Chair,
The charity's money,
Hold on.
I want in writing who's getting it.
Okay.
That's me.
but,
Go ahead, Louis.
okay?
Mr. Chair, excuse me, sir. There are 3 or 4 non-charitable organizations in Montura.
Yes, sir.
I think if that's the issue, we can have any of those organizations request in writing that they would like to get part of the donation. If 3 people apply, we divide it in 3 and everybody's happy. If 2 people apply, we
It's a good
divide it
idea.
in half and everybody's happy.
Well, to be honest with you, and again, I believe since you're putting it on, it's wherever you want to donate it to. I don't want to tell you who you have to do it
At the
to.
end of the day, anybody could request the funds, anything left over. But at the end of the day, we're asking for that type of money in order to cover costs.
Understand?
What, if it's $1, we'll give that $1 away. We're gonna go ahead and cover that
I
cost,
think what they're getting at, because historically,
correct?
they don't want to allow public property for private profit.
This is not
So
private.
if it's for a charitable purpose, we should, that's you decide.
Right, but that's okay, I'll
You
decide
just
that.
want to know that it's going to be used,
Correct.
not for private gain,
Correct.
for profit, but for a charitable use. That's your business, where you get it.
Correct.
I just want to confirm that you're going to give it to some charitable use, that's it.
Okay, and once we do it, we get a receipt from them, that's simple as that.
I don't think
What's your
anyone on
card?
the board have an issue. Louis, you got anything else?
No puedes ir ahora.
No, that's all the problem. It's an issue that whatever organization would like to have a cut out of the funds that are available, they should request it in writing.
I'm pretty sure they want to cut, but I think it's up to the people that are.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that request is gonna be presented to
Oh, anybody could request
the
that,
event,
yes.
right?
Yes,
And
sir.
then they will make up their mind how
Correct.
they're gonna spend it.
Correct.
So I hereby make a motion that we approve
Do
the
we have,
event.
okay, do we have the hours? Do you have a certain time frame?
It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10ish will run until about 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Once we do that big turn, once we do the roundabout, and everybody eats, gets cleaned up, we have to, maintain everything cleaned up.
Okay.
He gives it to us nice and clean, so we make sure we return it back and clean as well.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor for approval for this. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Have a great event.
Thank you.
Be safe and take tons of pictures.
Well, we're on this topic.
Yes, sir.
Should we find out what's gonna happen on the 31st?
When it's your opportunity.
When I get to it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's fine. Thank you. Any more public comments?
That's on the 17th, right?
Yes, sir. And I'll give you, Mr. District Manager, I'll give you more information as it comes in.
I will.
I think we have another thing.
Oh, okay.
Josh, would you please, you can stand, present what you have to present, where you're from. Make sure you're from here.
Josh Marshall Way, Brownsville. Part of the Guardians of the Reservoir, and we're also want to throw a little event, also the same day, on that October the 17th.
You say the same day?
Yeah, it's the same date as October the 17th. We just found out that me and Ronnie threw the same event on the same day. But it's our annual year cleanup of
Okay.
the reservoir. We've actually already had a lot of donations already given out for the area. We're just waiting for the approval of the board. We've had actual porta potties, 2 of them with wash stations donated for that day. Now on this day, what we're asking for is, we're asking if we can waive how many people can actually come in that day to do this cleanup, so there won't be a number. We've got wristbands that was donated, tickets were donated. We've got volunteers set up to do the wristbands, and we sent an email out to the attorney, see if we can come up with like a, I guess what would you call it, like a.
Draft it and Becky.
Yeah, a draft,
Okay.
for, release form, for that day, just for that day, it's 24 hour period.
Okay.
This event will start at 9 to 3. We're also going to have a barbecue with some drinks and try to keep the reservoir cleaned up at a safe distance. During that point, also it gives people that don't have a key to come in the reservoir a chance to check it out.
Beautiful.
Also gives people that don't live in Montour a little bit of a chance to come in, maybe buy a piece of property, that way they can. So that's more income for the community, for everybody. We're asking the board, if the board will donate 1 free key for next November, and that'll be our big ticket giveaway, which is a value of $150.
That's what the guy that pick up $10 a guy.
The problem is, the only person that can get that key is a resident.
There's stipulations with that. You have to own property and you have taxes have to be paid up. I believe it's how it works.
Okay.
So it can't be just anybody that don't own property.
Right, that's what I want to clear that.
Yes, sir, no, definitely.
Mr. Chair,
Hold on, let it finish, let it finish. We got plenty of questions, I believe.
Yeah, so we're also asking all the board members, if they don't mind, please make an appearance or attend. And also all the people that are running for the board, if they will please make an appearance. If you want to speak to the public, get to know us. Any questions at that point, that would be the time. We'll be doing like a little Q&A also.
Yeah, great up.
So that way everybody has a chance to meet everybody.
Yeah. Should've known.
In between the horse.
Ride your
Can I,
horse out there.
hey, can I give a ride to the list again?
I know that we talked about this in the past, and we kind of went back and forth about it a minute ago. We talked about the porta potties for the security guard.
Okay.
Now, if I remember, in the very beginning of this whole situation, when the sheriff's department had it, there was something said about the sheriff's department without a key, they can use our bathroom here. That's Central County.
I don't recall, but okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
So in this case, I've been on a wild search hunt for the last year and a half trying to find the cheapest company for a porta potty for full time here.
Okay.
Everybody should have had this piece of paper put in front of you.
Okay.
This is a company, and it's called Gold Citrus Harvest and Hauling is the name of the company.
They're the ones
They're the actual ones that are willing to donate the porta potty and the wash stations for the cleanup that day.
Beautiful.
They're going to throw that in for free.
Okay.
And I asked them, I said, hey, they never brought it to me. So I said, hey, do you all run them out? They said, yeah. So I asked for an invoice, and this is the invoice that they give us. For a single unit with a wash station a month, and that's them coming by every week with a cleanup and restocking of toilet paper and soap and so forth on, $125. For a single unit with hand wash, bi-weekly, that's every other week, cleaning it, getting rid of the mess, restocking everything, $85. Now, I was talking to Flacco earlier about if we were to get this, how could we keep it here where it's safe and nobody's going to run off with it or destroy it or anything else like that?
Good.
He said, why don't we put it inside the trash area, inside the gate, and give the security guard a gate to the key?
Well, that was actually Jose's idea.
Well, Jose's idea. So we'll put it inside the bathroom here, and that way,
We can put it next to our little shed that we
Can I
did for
ask
the
a
garbage.
question? This is for the security guard?
yeah, well, it's for the security guard and for the,
What happened to the key? What happened to the key to the one that's already here?
well, that's what we were talking about, and apparently it wasn't ever brought
Why
up.
are we gonna pay $125 a month when we got a key, he can come right around?
Well, it'd be $85 a
For
month.
$85.
At that moment, when they were going through all the contract and everything, the board didn't allow the security to have the key because of the equipment and this and that. That was what said at that moment. We do have a bathroom right over here.
That's what I'm saying, we do have a bathroom, we just have no way for a security guard to get in. And unfortunately, a couple weeks back, we had a new employee, didn't know no better, it's not his fault. Security guard needed to use the bathroom really bad. Asked him, he's like, I don't have the key. And he didn't, he don't have a key to inside here, he only had a key to the gate for the trash, so it was kind of an issue with the bathroom situation there. I don't know if it needs to be addressed, or, you know, what we do with that situation there.
Anything else, Josh?
I did send out an email September the 6th to all y'all board members. I hope y'all did get it about the cleanup. Hopefully everybody did.
Yes.
And besides that, that's pretty much about it.
Right.
Real quick, how it's going to work for that cleanup. We'll meet here at 9:30. Hopefully everybody will stay at a safe distance and wear a mask. But we'll go over the rules and regulations. If you're not a key holder, if you're not here with a key holder, midnight you got to be out. Plain and simple, that's where our security guard leaves. If you don't, you're just gonna get locked in. Which we'll try to make sure everybody's out by then. We'll keep a list. Before they go in the gate, we're gonna have 2 volunteers. They're gonna have their own tent set up behind the concrete barrier with a table, so that's more than 6 feet away. They're gonna have to sign a waiver. There'll be a wristband put on with a date. So that way we kind of know, and we'll have a piece of paper. So as they come out, they'll bring their trash out, we'll have the ticket and so forth on, we'll go from there. Then we kind of keep up and see if we can get a number back up.
Okay. Louis?
I love the idea. I just have one question, one request.
Yes, sir.
It is hard to have 2 events in the same day for the community.
Yes, sir.
Are you guys willing to either jump a week or take a week back, either the 10th or the 24th?
Well, I don't have a problem moving it later, but the only problem the week later than that is we're on landowner's meeting. You don't want to mix that with that.
Yeah, the 10th we can't do either. The 10th we have the monitor land study as
And
well.
the 10th is the landowner, so you don't want to take away from
Okay,
that.
how about the 10th?
You don't want to take away from the landowner's meeting. then.
No,
The monitor land study.
The land study.
I think it's gonna work out just fine. So the people that do what he's doing, are gonna be doing what he's doing.
Everybody's gonna go clean up
because they can't
ride
horses.
Don't be mean.
That's not an issue. We're both advertising. But I mean,
Hold
if
on. One at a time. Hold on.
but if it's a conflict of interest, I mean, we can move ours to a later date after the land.
No conflict. Any more questions? I have a couple questions. Louis, you got any more questions?
No, the only thing I see, I love the idea.
That's
I'm
great.
just trying to find a way to reach a happy medium so we don't have 2 events on the same day that's gonna deprive one party of the other.
And
So I know they're 2 different groups,
yes, sir.
okay, and so that's a good thing.
But the thing is that some of those people that are on horseback can actually come out and ride that day.
I think that's a great idea as well.
So it kind of, and the people that are here might ride in the mornings and decide to go get something to
Okay,
eat
so
from
you're
there.
gonna open it up so the horses.
Yeah, it's for everybody, that's what I'm saying, you don't even have to own property here that day. You can actually come in, and you just gotta sign a waiver and get
No,
a
that's
wristband.
wrong with it. I hereby make a motion.
Hold on. We got a lot of people that have a lot of questions, Louis. Hold on. Denise, you have a question? I have one.
That's all.
I forgot mine already.
Okay, so I love the ideas of what you guys are doing. I wish we could have like 5 events every weekend for somebody to get involved in something. So I appreciate what you guys doing. We're gonna try to make it happen. My question now for you, Josh, is it an all-day event for people to come in and out, or is it just for this time frame?
It would be an all-day event, it would
Okay.
only be from 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock.
So that's how we're gonna promote. So like people that have, were in the caravan or the parade, the horse parade, after they're done, they can jump on their 4-wheelers and go out there and have a good
Yes,
time as
our
well.
original plans was from 9 to 3, but then when we found out about his event, we said, well, why don't we just push it till 12, so that way
Okay.
it gives everybody a chance to
Josh,
intervene.
is there a danger of spooking the horses because of the ATVs and the horses riding in there?
Yes, ma'am, there's any kind of chance that you're riding an animal like that,
You
Then
can,
I don't
But then-
think they
but
should
then
allow
hold
the
on.
horses.
no, man.
but then there's
no
a good
problem.
chance,
We
there's a
had,
good,
we had
You
an
spooking,
accident.
you spooking me right now by talking to him, man. Doesn't matter.
Didn't we have an accident last week?
yes, we had an accident last week,
But
but,
that happens,
that's just part of it, they can have an accident out there right on the
Yeah,
road.
the park, you can buy a spook of horse.
I thought that the ATVs were.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
man.
It's
No,
only
This was-
some-
That's my only
The
concern.
wind can spook a
And I
horse.
apologize for not sending an email, we've been so busy, I totally forgot.
It's okay.
That's-
I heard it through the grapevine.
That's why it's so important. I know Benny's done rodeos, and my daughter's was in rodeos as well. That's
Yeah.
why that equine
Yep.
And that's what I was
That
gonna ask
equine
John.
line pretty tough.
I
It's a
wanna
pretty
ask
tough
John,
law.
I wanna ask John about the equine law. What do you know about the equine law?
Not much.
It applies to this, if they're riding horses, I can tell you, it applies. And, I spent many years as the president of the Rodeo Association, Henry County Rodeo Association, and I know that it's been tested because, and it's pretty, as long as you're not negligent, it's pretty tough.
It is. Pretty solid.
Now, what I don't recall is, I don't remember the wording, if it's just for arenas or horse events in general.
Ben, Benny, you mean really tough in terms of liability protection?
Yes, liability, as far as I understand, it's never been beat.
It's pretty strong.
It's pretty strong.
Like if there's an accident out there,
Yes.
that equine law pretty much protects the owner. It's pretty tough. I mean, I've seen people get their biceps ripped off and they couldn't do anything about it because of the equine law.
It'd be easy to double check, but.
So-
We've had accidents in the arena and sued, and it went about 2 minutes.
So as the board, before we make that motion, Louis, and I agree with your motions, so to speak. So he's asking for the day, an annual key to be given away as a raffle, and this,
Well, that's free.
I'm just saying, but.
That's free for that day.
Yes,
If y'all
sir.
wanna do the bathrooms for the security guard, that is another quote that we have, it's been the cheapest.
So what you're asking, okay, so what
That's
you're,
fully separate.
okay, so what you're asking for is that day event
Yes.
and an annual key to be given
And
away.
the annual key given away.
Anything
and,
else?
Yeah, and by the way, make
Ice.
sure he gets the
From
portable.
Flocka, maybe another,
The what?
ice.
Ice would be dope.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Donated.
okay.
I've already told security, we're gonna have two security officers.
Yes, sir.
Their job is while the event's going on,
Okay,
checking coolers, helmets, flags,
okay.
and the girls will take care of the paperwork from there on.
Louis, floor is yours, brother.
I would like to make a motion to adopt that with the amendment of we give away 2 keys.
I don't have an issue. Well, again, I can't really vote right now. So you got a
So
motion?
I'm gonna try to make my first motion, and everything that he said,
Okay,
with the amendment of we give them away 2 keys because it's good for the community.
understood. So we have a motion on the floor to put on this event and also give 2 annual keys away to 2 lucky landowners that say it's very expensive to have a key.
And they have to own property, and the taxes have to be paid up.
Yes.
Oof,
I was gonna
that's gonna
call,
be tough to figure out.
Hey!
So we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? We don't, okay, so the motion does not carry.
The next one?
The next one.
He said he was gonna do for 2 keys and then he'll do for 1 key.
Yeah, he said 1 key.
That's a
He added 2
Somebody,
keys.
Okay,
so that
so
somebody
the one
needs
key.
to.
The 2 keys died.
Right.
Right,
And I
or
don't
1 key.
restate the motion, when you guys wanna be cheap.
Yes.
That's right.
I hereby make a motion that we grant everything and we give away 1 key for the reservoir.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
So, a second.
All right, we have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very
Motion
much.
carries. Have a safe and great event. Take tons of pictures, please.
I have one more question to ask.
Man, your 3 minutes is
Hey, you've
been
been
up.
on for 30 minutes, you're supposed to get 3.
This one's kind of important. The second event, the Timothy Hasselplug ride. Timothy Hasselplug was an owner of property here. He passed away last year. We did a big ride.
I think I remember.
That we
Yes,
okayed?
yes.
Last year we had, in the rules, we had one more extra vehicle. This year we took a vehicle away.
Okay.
And the thing. There's one just for that day, which is on
This Saturday,
this Saturday.
coming.
All the families come down. There's gonna do another big ride. If we could waive his family and stuff, so they can do the memorial out there.
For his family, is that Melissa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have the motion on the floor? I mean, can we get approval?
Well, I don't understand, what are they?
He wants the family of the person who passed away to go in the reservoir without any rules, as many as they.
I don't think without any rules.
Well, no.
I mean, the rules about
Permission to go in.
how many people
Yeah, and we'll be accompanying.
For that day.
That is that day.
on that
yeah.
day,
Just for
yeah.
that day.
Who's gonna oversee that? You guys are,
We will.
personally?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can we get a motion on the floor?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
One second.
That's it.
You killing us, man. 3 minutes, that's the death. So it's like 2 hours.
Here's the garbage can of paint donated. We want to say thank you.
Thank you. Hey,
Becky.
great job, thank you.
The part that he said that they were gonna oversee it, make sure you put that in red ink, so we can remember, so later on,
It doesn't backfire.
we can go get it.
So our public comments are finished. Let's get into our staff reports. District manager and clubhouse report, please.
All right, the employee for the clubhouse is already working. It's really handy. We already ordered all the new uniforms for the employees, so we'll be getting out of that part of the contract next month, right, Becky?
By next Wednesday.
By next Wednesday. So again, the entire uniform, the entire bill was $7,000. Like we bring the numbers to you guys, so we're still saving $6,000.
Thank you.
Is there gonna be a policy of how to return those uniforms if they quit or are fired?
I'm sorry?
Is there gonna be a policy on how they return those uniforms if they quit or they are fired?
Well, that's not a good idea right now, Mr. Denise, because of the COVID and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure nobody's coming.
Okay, I didn't think of that.
However, I will say it's very simple. If you don't give them their last check until they bring the uniform back, I mean, that's not even.
That's usually common.
My,
Or
that's-
you
that's
have them
over.
sign,
That's
you
what I
have them
thought.
sign something, they become an
Well,
employee.
we got everybody signed, but
Right.
we still.
But he says because of the COVID, we should not do
I don't
that.
care if COVID or no COVID, if they don't return the uniform, they don't get their last check, simple.
Hold on 1 second, go ahead, Louis.
Excuse me, sir, but, and the uniform consists of personal pants and shirt
Yes, sir.
and boots.
Yes, sir.
I think it's silly to try to recuperate something that is personal, so we gave them away to the employees.
We don't give them away, we're paying to rent them and clean them, right? Or do we buy them and give them to them?
You give it to the next person?
Oh, never mind, I'm sorry, I'm out of this, I'm done. I
Oh,
thought,
because Benny was not here.
yeah, I thought we were renting them.
No.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're personal,
No,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot that you wasn't
No
here that
problem,
day.
no problem.
The whole deal with the uniform is we put some numbers together and, with the help of Mr. Mara. And we came to a conclusion that if we get rid of it, that part of the contract with the uniforms, we will be able to save buying, the uniforms for the employees, we will be able to save half of the money
Gotcha,
out of a year.
makes
So
perfectly good sense.
we bought the uniform, $7,000, we're still saving another $5,000 and something
Gotcha.
for the next year.
Okay, I thought it was the kind that you pick up and you rent
No,
and things,
no,
you got to
no.
turn them in and they'll burn you, okay, no, we're good.
Keep going, bro, thank you.
Thanks.
So, you guys asked me for, the, greater estimates. If you go to the, if you go to the manager, you're gonna find them after the first page. There's 2 of them. The really dark number, that's the prices.
280, 300?
No.
Better than that?
231 for a John Deere and 226 for a Caterpillar.
That's a no-brainer. And that's pretty good price.
Well, this is the, the plain, just like we have. Which is good, I mean,
What you want, stereo, air ride, and what? TV, I mean, it's a grader for God's sake.
so, well, the John Deere is 231, the Caterpillar is 226, so they're really similar.
And ours is doing what, ours is still running?
Ours is running, but it's got 3 speeds that are not working already. So it's
I have a question for you.
it's getting there. Yes, sir.
Mr. Boyd, this might go to you. Can you look into, I know there's, I've been to a few seminars and there's, funding out there where loans, and they exceed normal loans like bank loans that are more than 5 years. In 10 years, some 20, some even a little more than that for heavy equipment like what we're talking about. Can you guys look into that? Because if we do something like that, I think we can bite the bullet and if we had to purchase something like this. But on a long-term basis, not in 5 years, more staggered out more.
Even 10 would be great.
Can you look into that, Mr. Boyd? Because if not, I mean, I have contacts, I can make it happen as well.
can't hear him.
It's,
You gotta be unmuted.
I know.
I think he
If
got
he's
it on
trying
mute
to
himself.
there it is.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, I could look into that if I can see what contracts that John Deere and them are offering, we can compare them to what, bank loan packages are available.
I don't want that. I don't want the standard. I want the extraordinary. Like when you buy heavy equipment, it's usually 10 years, 15 years. I don't want the standard 5-year loan. There's other packages out there where you buy farm equipment and heavy equipment, the payments are extended out even further.
Right.
That's what we're looking for.
Well, okay.
All right?
I can get the information from Arminio tomorrow and see what we can find out.
Thank you, sir. Bring that to us so we can make some good decisions for you, brother.
We still grading roads as much as we can, for the rain.
Question.
Hold on.
Have you had an estimate what it's gonna cost to fix that transmission?
No, not yet.
I'm gonna write my number down and we'll find, let's ask.
I can tell you how much it cost the last time. $57,000.
How much?
$57,000.
Fix the transmission?
Yes.
It's all you coming.
That was, what, 5 years ago? 5 years ago. 5 years ago. $57,000. Yes.
You have the bill from that? Hey, John, can we go after these people? There, you know that.
I wasn't the manager.
20 grand, 25,000, 57,000 for a transmission? Go ahead.
Floor is yours, brother.
Okay, we got 29 new covers. That does not include the last week. Last week, we almost got the same amount in 1 week. So there's a lot of covers.
That we installed or the landowners?
No, the new covers, new permits.
Landowners.
How many?
Understood.
New permits.
How many?
We count 29, but in the last 3 or 4 days, I think we've reached the same amount that,
Okay.
we're picking up trash on Ventura, we're cutting, on Keno with the boom mower. George, I'm sorry. It's gonna take a little longer because the bearings on the boom mower are gone, so we need to wait for that. But don't worry, bro. We'll get there.
Talking about the brand new boom mower?
Yes. Oh, yes. The bearing on the blade is gone.
Can you check with John Deere on the warranty?
It is on the warranty.
Okay, good.
Yeah. We just gotta wait for them to have a service truck coming out here and
See if they'll give us a loaner. Mr. Selector's good people. Sometimes he'll give us some. He'll work something out. See if he has a loaner or something. All right. So we keep moving.
we got the big excavator working and running inside our reservoir cleaning up.
Okay.
So we're gonna save that $11,000 to $13,000 on renting the 60-foot-long excavator.
Good.
Denise wants the information about the street signs and all that stuff, right?
Good.
got it.
You got it? Yeah. It's on the report, we spent $992 until last week.
Is that on a month?
That's
for the month?
That's for the month. Okay. The clubhouse, we're doing the regular maintenance, big pool. Mr. Bennett went with me out there. He's looking into some pool contractors to go there and take a look. We reached out to Rockstar, which is the company that did that work. We're still waiting for their answer on when they're gonna come out.
I'm still waiting for Bahamas.
They asked for a rough information of what happened with the pool, how we find out, this and that, and we send it all to them. Okay? So, they haven't called us back or sent us an email back to see.
Can I be present when the next person goes to see the pool?
Yes, sir.
Please let me know.
All right.
I got a lot of good questions I wanna ask, right, standing right there.
Okay, no problem.
And
As you guys noticed, we are working on our pond. If front of the clubhouse. It's gonna be a process. We're cleaning it up, and we're gonna make it where when you come from 833, it's gonna look really nice. I'm not gonna tell you guys what it is, but it's gonna be nice.
Good, yeah.
I like that.
Cheap, nice.
Never nice.
You always gotta say something, don't you, Ben?
With these numbers in the office, to looking for a way to save some money, and see how we can do a lot more roads. I'm sorry we haven't got time to put it on an Excel sheet. What you guys are looking at is a rough estimate on how much we might be able to save in 6 months if we get another 2 dump trucks with 2 truck drivers. So we can haul dirt from the from Bridgedale, the reservation from outside. So we don't pay.
So you're saving money on transportation of whatever you're buying?
Yes, ma'am. Money and time. The problem is that a lot of times they do, for example, they do in the Lake Okeechobee project. So we gotta wait 2 or 3 weeks until they have the time to start delivering services.
Okay.
So right there we lose like 2 or 2.5 weeks until they have time to start bringing that fuel out again. So, again, it's a rough estimate. We gotta add, on the salaries, we gotta add the benefits that we gotta pay for those employees and uniforms, little numbers. But on the big numbers, we should be saving anything from 100,000 to 115,000 every 6 months with 2 drivers and 2 trucks. Now, which kind of trucks? That's up to you guys.
2 trucks total or 2 more? We have 1.
2 more trucks.
Okay, that'll be
2
total
more
3.
trucks. So it will be 1 truck hauling in
Inside and
Ventura
2 on the road.
and 2 trucks hauling from outside.
Bringing fuel in.
And what will these men do when they are not doing the hauling?
Oh, we got plenty to do always.
Okay.
So let me.
The only reason, I'm sorry, Mr.
Go ahead,
Mayor.
no,
The
no.
only reason why we haven't been able to do no more roads is because of the budget. But we can actually do roads all year with no problem. Because during the rainy season, we still rain. So you can still do roads.
Okay, are you finished?
Yes.
Any questions on this from the board? I've got a couple. Any questions, Louis?
I didn't send it to you guys before, we just
No, that's
finished
fine.
it. So if you guys want to look at it and.
No, we're definitely gonna have to digest it, we're definitely gonna have to digest it.
Right.
So what we're saying then is, we're going to, because again, fuel's cheap. Fuel you get for in between $4 to $7 a ton.
Right.
So basically, we're taking the middleman out, we're gonna haul it in directly.
Exactly.
From here to the reservation is 45 minutes. From here to Ridgedale's Rock Pit in Moorhaven or Clewiston?
Clewiston or Moorhaven?
It's Moorhaven.
Also Rock Pit on 82. So again, so you have about 4 or 5 rock pits to choose from.
Right.
That'll give us some more
That,
options.
the fuel, the diesel is already in these numbers.
Okay.
It's already calculated.
Well, we're gonna get to that question here. So go ahead, Louis, your question.
I just got one issue with this, and I think we should consider, like you said, digest it.
For sure.
But the liability to having 2 vehicles full of dirt with air brakes out on the highway, I don't like that idea at all.
That's very common though in the industry. But again, I appreciate your concern because there's some things that we have to digest, of course, but I
But
agree.
you're right about that, Mr. Lewis, but that's a chance that everybody has to take. We got a truck and vehicles on the road every day.
Every day, yeah.
I mean,
It ain't
that's,
different here than
Yeah,
that.
but we have it in here in
But it's no
Missouri.
different than.
if you have my thought is if you have a commercial vehicle out on the highway
Yes, sir.
full of dirt, one accident can put our insurance up.
You can do that right here in Monterville.
Yeah, but it's less
Hey,
chances.
hey, one horse fall and hurt somebody and we get sued, same thing. One person run off in the ditch,
But we-
same thing.
But we did ask him to get creative and we appreciate it.
Yes.
We will digest it, we will look into it, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a lot of good questions.
Well, like I said, this is something that we just put together.
Thank you.
I mean, you guys can call me, anytime if you don't understand any line item or something, and I'll explain it.
And with the $115,000 savings for 6 months, you said it was?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that gonna be used towards the payment of the new trucks?
That's up to you guys. That's just
So
money.
how
on
long
the
do we
budget.
pay the trucks?
You have to, that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah, that's the only-
I was just fixing to ask you, how about that?
I was gonna say, ask, where are the trucks in here, where are the vehicles? But at this present moment, we only have one, correct? Hold on,
Right.
John, hold on, please.
The vehicles is not here because that's what I'm saying, it's up to you guys.
Understood.
If we can get a standalone or however, Mr. Mara call it, for 15 years or something like that, the payment will be a lot less.
Understood.
We can look into, use, a truck. I mean, it's up to you guys, that's why I didn't put it over here.
So your savings here does not include the trucks then? The vehicles?
No, you're right. We're gonna,
Yeah.
Understood, okay.
So if you, whatever you guys decide,
Yes, sir.
the trucks will pay for itself, every 6 months.
Understood, okay.
And of course, there's gonna be a time where the trucks are gonna be paid off and then all that money
Hold on, guys, hold on one second.
is gonna be,
Okay.
saving.
Any questions on this, so you finish up his report?
no, I'm good.
Hold on, audience, go ahead.
I'm not.
All right, any questions for Mr. Arminio?
We're gonna consider.
Supervisor? Yeah, we're
We don't have to vote
gonna,
on
no,
it today.
we're digesting.
Oh,
this.
no, we gotta do, I got,
We gotta digest
what's your numbers
it.
for right here?
I have a question for you. Can you give us an update on the bathroom rehab at the clubhouse?
Right, the bathrooms are painted, the toilets are out. We're doing some fixing on the, plumbing between the two bathrooms, cause that's a weird structure. That's one of those, structures that you carry with a crane, you put it on a flatbed, and then you get to the place and you just put it on top of the,
It's a solid septic.
the septic, and then the space to work on it is like 2 feet, so we kinda having problem fixing the plumbing, we're almost done. The bathrooms inside are done,
Okay.
everything is ready to install the toilets and everything, we got the toilets there and everything.
So without putting any pressure, when do you think you're gonna have this job completed?
As soon as we finish with the plumbing, which I would say for next week, it's gonna be done.
So it's just like within 2 weeks then?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Are these the outside bathroom and the playground?
Correct, outside?
Yes, ma'am,
2 years ago, I asked you to do it.
right.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, you asked me to clean it and we did.
No, to get rid of those things.
Well, it's not that easy.
So this project will be done within 2 weeks then?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any questions to the supervisor? And so we're waiting on the pool, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What about the AC? Are we gonna talk about that as well?
Yes, we're gonna talk about the AC.
Right now?
And the drop ceiling, right now.
Okay, right now.
No, we're still waiting on prices.
Right,
Oh, that's right.
the AC, the contract being signed and everything, we spoke to, Clyde Johnson to hold it a little bit
Okay,
because of the decision of the generator, which you guys are gonna, it's on the agenda.
yes, sir, I see that.
Yeah, we're
And the
gonna,
reason for that is because, remember you guys, we needed to take the, transfer switch away from the contract.
Okay,
And now we don't know if we're gonna put it back or keep it out.
so are you saying, so whatever we decide tonight on the generator, then we move through on the AC? Because I don't see the AC on the agenda, that's why I'm asking.
Right, yes, whatever you guys decide on the generator
Yes, sir.
is a go or changing.
I got a question for the board. I got a question for the board. Y'all ready for this?
Yes, sir.
I was and talked about adding this room and air conditioning this room, I apparently had the wrong room.
Okay.
I don't know any other way to say it. I'm thinking, well, you know, I thought it was from the time you go in the clubhouse back.
That'd be nice.
And what we're, you know, what we were talking about is that little room back there. And I'm looking at this and looking at this, and I think we can get stupid, spending stupid money doing this. Or I asked Arminio to, when these people come here, to ask them what they would charge to put a drop ceiling across that area, because it's very simple to put a drop ceiling across it, and how much AC was it gonna take to do that?
Okay.
And see if
Half of the area.
that whole, instead of that room, just come all the way across. Because there's places, I mean, you can set a drop ceiling very easily, and it doesn't have to be perfectly, you know, you don't have to spend a fortune on that clubhouse, I don't think, to do so.
I never went for that because since I had difficulty just getting an air conditioner.
Well, listen, he's called them, they're coming. I just asked, when they got there, what's it gonna cost to put a drop ceiling in this? And then let's figure the square footage and add whatever size to the air conditioner.
So what's our number?
Well, we're waiting, they haven't came yet. So when they come, they're gonna do that. And that,
Let me ask Mr. Bennett, can we make that happen in that area? If we do a drop ceiling, we're gonna have to get permits and everything like that, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
for a drop ceiling?
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, because it'd be part of the renovation. They'd have, and part of it'd be an upgrade to the air conditioning that we had
You see us,
planned for that.
you see us, hit any obstacles with that, Mr. Bennett?
Well, I think you can make it happen, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked sick. I had to be standing there to think about this, because
Yeah.
I was, like I said, I thought that was part of this
Yeah,
already.
Not a very big room.
No, you're not talking about a whole lot. When you look at it there, and adding a drop ceiling, that's gonna keep a lot of air inside that down. That, just the drop ceiling, so,
When are they coming?
I mean, it can't be a big deal.
When are they coming?
No, just for you guys, Denise asked for the garbage report, the.
No, when are they coming? What are you saying? When
Oh, I'm
they
sorry,
see-
I thought you said we have.
Yes, sir.
They haven't called us back yet. They said they're gonna let us know when they're gonna be able to come up.
Can we expedite this, because we've been talking about this probably about half a year, maybe 2
I'll
years.
actually go ahead and get with them before
Please.
they get here. I can talk to the
Yeah, just-
contractor and
Just,
get it out here. We can get a number.
yeah, drop ceiling, square footage, how much more air?
Right.
Okay.
Don't wanna hear nothing about this, and we need to do drop ceiling, more air, and let's let it ride.
Any,
Okay, at the end of the
I know how it
binders, you're gonna find two reports.
I'm speechless.
One is for, Ms. Amara asked for the fuel report, and Ms. Denise asked for the dumpster report.
okay,
So they're all the way at the end.
is that this paper?
Let me see.
The last,
That's the fuel report,
Okay,
and this is the dumpster report.
Yes, I definitely wanna talk about that.
okay.
So, I don't know, you guys asked for it, so the floor is yours, whatever you wanna.
So, can you give me an update on the fuel report first?
The fuel report is really simple. We asked we just picked 2014 up to 2020, which is today basically.
Yes, sir.
And we didn't add it up, the 3 different fuels that we use, but just so you have an idea, on the red diesel, 2014 was $98,000 used. 2015 was 94, 16 was 78, 17 was 99, then on the 18 went down to 63, 19 went down to 56, and 2020 we took it all the way down to 14,000.
And when you said red diesel, we're talking about the pump stations, correct?
We're talking about all the equipment that runs, which is heavy equipment, farm equipment, and pump.
Okay. Okay. So then we're looking at.
No, I'm sorry. Yes.
So we're looking at 14, just real quick math, 14, 4, that's 18, 19, 20. We're looking at about 21 that we did, so we spent about 21, roughly 21K in 2020.
2020, yes sir.
That's it. something's wrong, that's a hell of a job.
Okay.
You mean fiscal.
Fiscal year, the whole fiscal year.
So that's just it.
Right, we just okay, thank you. So that's a great savings, just in the,
That does,
Did
I
you
can-
add water to it?
I can tell you a big part of that.
no,
No, don't tell them. That's what you get paid for. You know, don't tell them, don't educate them.
appreciate
None of
what
us.
you appreciate
Keep
what
up
you're
the
doing.
work.
I know what you're doing. I appreciate
I know exactly what you're doing. Do it.
That's part of it,
it. I
but
appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Let gravity do its work.
Yeah, show off, show off.
Can you
We
speak
put
on
it in
the
for
other
a raise.
report?
Well, the other report, Ms. Denise asked Becky to get a report for the dumpsters.
Yes, sir.
It basically, in 5 months or, no, 6 months, we have spent is $35,000.
Mr. Chairman, may I say something?
Yes, sir.
We set those dumpsters there. People were using them here and there. I was here the other day, and it looks like after a hurricane, people just bring in crap. We gotta stop that. We'll go broke. We don't have enough money in the budget. I mean, we had a reason for that, but not, that most of that stuff can go on the side of the road, and the garbage people can pick it up. That wasn't why we designed this.
I think.
And we're not using it the way.
I think was.
Wow.
I think Louis can probably speak on that. I think the whole reason was behind the whole theory was, not saying that I agree or disagree, was we want to have that open so they don't illegal dump on properties
Yes.
and bring it here. But there is a charge for that, Mr. Alvarez. There is a charge for that. But they're still doing both,
Yes.
right? They're illegal dumping still, and they're still dumping here because we don't take everything here, right?
What is the sudden I mean, they were coming in out of here like this was the county place. What's changed?
No,
The amount of people that are moving in. Look how many culverts we're selling.
Yes, sir.
And the more people coming in, it's simple that the dumpster price is gonna go up.
Okay, yes.
So the more people, the more garbage, we're gonna have to pay more. That's all.
And I think I think that's a big deal too, also, that the county did a big sweep and a lot of people had to clean up a lot of this stuff.
However, we should, although we want them to have the sweep, this is kind of, and we want to clean up, but I don't know that we should be the blood of the, I mean, we're taking a hit.
Big time.
That's not why we set them, that's not why we set those if you remember, I'm the one that started the dumpster business when I came back here. That wasn't why it was done, and yeah, it's gotten, whoa, we gotta do something.
So we don't allow.
I will let you guys talk.
We don't allow
I haven't forgotten
any
you guys.
household. We go and check on the trailers
No commercial.
every time, no
Yeah.
commercial, none of that. It's
So-
just,
So what do you, first, because you do a number out, I'm looking at a different number. You said 12, I'm looking at 21 or something?
He said 35,000.
no, if you look at the top side, our bill is the activity and the disposal combined.
Okay.
So we've
So at 33.
been hit with $9,000 bills, $8,000 bills, so
Isn't there stuff out there we can burn?
So we're looking at, right now, we're looking at about 34,000 in 6 months.
yes.
So 34 times 2, that's 68, so roughly 68 a year.
Yes.
it used to be 100.
It used to, when it was closed, three years back, it was because that year we paid $106,000. That it went closed for 6 months, and then we didn't. I think you were on board already, right?
I hope not.
Well,
We opened it back up.
the
when we first
reason
started.
why it was open back up
It
is
was open
because
before me.
we were using like 2 days out of the week just to pick up garbage around everywhere. So
Yeah.
we reopened it, and it was down for a long time between 1900 and 2100. And then that's when the inspectors started coming out here, and it went crazy.
So Arminio, thank you for this report, and thank you for asking, Ms. Miller. Can you get creative to see how these numbers can go down? Because Louis makes a great point. They're coming in by the drove, so I see this number not going down. I see this number escalating, and it's gonna have to come out of our funding. So can you get creative and propose something to the board to see what we can do about lessening the blow?
I got creative and I presented it to him and to Becky.
Okay.
Okay, and their response to me was, the reason why we have so much garbage is basically because the garbage company is not picking up, is not going all the way down there and taking the garbage out. That's what Becky had told me.
I've heard that.
My creative plan includes the community
Understood.
and a part-time worker. That could be one of the full-time workers if they get all these trucks to do that. And it's on a basis where volunteer residents, I didn't bring the packet with me, I believe I left it home. Volunteer residents are going to participate in this program, about 20 of them. I could get 20 people to do it, or more. And what they do is that the person that we hire goes out in the morning with a list of the volunteers. And whatever garbage he has, let's say he has tires, okay? And I'm a volunteer, he goes to my property if he's nearby. He doesn't bring it back here. He puts it in front of my property because that is something that we'll pick up. If he sees a sofa, okay? He sees a sofa or a chair, whatever. He looks at what street he's on, looks for the volunteer, and he leaves it right there in front of their house. So that when Tuesday comes around, they have no excuse not to pick up that garbage because it's right where it is garbage that they're supposed to be picking up. Regular garbage. When he finishes Tuesday, comes back on Wednesday, he goes to the sites, through the streets, and he'll know which one was not picked up. So he puts a check on it, comes back to the office, give him the right to make a phone call to the county and said, the management, sanitation management did not pick up this street, this street, this street, and this street. And if we do that for a while, I am sure that money is gonna go down. But it takes the community, and maybe this is the time for community helpers. I could get you 20 people, easy, and he could get more. And we identify them.
I think it's a great idea. We're definitely going to have to use council's help because when you talk about volunteers.
Volunteering the front of their house to put the garbage, that's all they're gonna do. No.
You're talking about volunteering
We're
in the
gonna
house.
hire a part-time worker, he has that little car, and he has an address with him of all the volunteers. Let's say he's on Cabbage Farm. People go to my property and put it right there. He's not gonna do anything else, all he's gonna do is his job. And he's gonna keep a tab of it, and he's gonna know what was picked up and what wasn't picked up. You pick up the phone and you call the county and said, this is Montura, this was not picked up, this was not picked up.
Man, your brain was working on this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
And I wrote it down.
You see that, John? That thing was working.
And with details, I wrote it down.
I want to see the PowerPoint
I wrote it
presentation,
down.
Denise.
I didn't bring it. I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
sir.
I do have an idea though. I do have an idea.
Mine is
That's
better.
you when people come in.
Well, we can use more than one idea, first of all. You can use that one and another one, yes.
Sort,
Why don't,
As long as the money.
yeah,
sort, like when they come, you have the dumpster stuff and then the burned, you can have would you save money if you have it sorted? Have the people who come bring it sorted. Something can be burned.
we don't,
No,
We don't.
Hey,
we don't.
I just said that, we can burn it, and he's shaking his head, why?
He burned the other day.
well,
2 weeks ago,
reason-
you were burning.
That's
No,
that's
no, no, no,
trees.
no.
That's
shows
trees.
trees.
That's trees. That's not what
the
people are
reason
bringing.
why we can
They're bringing it mixed.
grab a whole thing and burn it is because it's plastic, there's.
Well, that's what he just said, you gotta separate it, they gotta sort it, they gotta bring it different.
So
not
so
you,
what?
the people
The
who
people
bring
bring
it.
it.
So can you present something to us and give something for the next meeting? Because we can go on this all night, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Ms. Denise did, you know, she called me and she came over here and the only thing I have with that, which I explained it to Ms. Denise is, one, the volunteer part is awesome. That's wonderful. But why do we have to pay an employee when we already pay Henry County to pick up our garbage? That's one thing. That's
But it's
the only
the-
thing I have to
tell you
say.
the answer to
But that's us doing a better job of collaborating
Exactly.
and meeting with Central and meeting with the county and the right person
Right.
that's that oversees that project.
Exactly. So
Yes.
that was just my opinion about that part.
But that's not Central County's cup of tea. That's what the community and me as living in, that's
Right.
our responsibility to make the call to dispatch.
Right.
It's not
And-
Central County's
And
responsibility.
the other thing is
I could be wrong on that, but.
picking up garbage from people's places are not really on our scope. And it's fine with me.
No, she didn't say,
Not
she didn't say us picking up, she's talking about Henry County picking up.
No.
No, the employee picks it up if it's thrown out on the street. They're not gonna go to my property to pick up garbage.
We're already doing that.
I know that,
We do
but my
that.
plan was going to save you money.
Yes, put it in front
Your
of people's
plan is
houses, I
not
like
saving
that.
money.
Put it in front of people's houses, don't bring it here.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
Don't bring it here so we don't have to pay for the garbage.
let's definitely look at this because there's between 60 to 100,000 on the table, so we need to have some creative ideas. So let's figure out, I'm about trying something and then redefining it, making it right. Anything else on your reports?
I haven't finished it.
You haven't finished, okay.
Not only in that plan that include the garbage, the so-called trees that Ms. Miller was supposed to get, were going to be watered by that person.
Which person is that?
What trees
No.
are on? Oh, I
The
must not be here.
one that picks up the garbage. The same person that we're gonna hire part-time,
Okay,
4 hours a day,
okay.
okay? That person, on the days that he didn't have to, just regular, will take 1 hour and water the trees. So you're not paying a full-time employee to water the trees. I will tell you what happened about watering the trees when the meeting is almost over.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Hermino?
No, sir.
I had a quick comment?
Actually, it's two things. One,
Quickly.
how many CDL holders do we have now?
Josh, not that kind of question. Come on.
Oh, about garbage?
Anything else?
Oh, okay.
Anything
No, about the garbage, I mean, even with our garbage, there's two things. We have certain things that we have to do, it has to be in a bag, if you throw
Yes, sir.
something big, it has to be a certain amount.
Yes, sir.
Why don't we do that here? That way it kind of not takes up so much room in the dumpsters.
We definitely need to try something.
The second thing is, no, Mom, I forgot.
Good deal. Thank you.
You had your hand up?
No, but that was a subject regarding Armenia with the trucks.
Yeah.
If you don't wanna go back to that, that's all right, you skipped it already.
Okay, all right. Anything else? Any more questions for us? All right, so we're finished with that. Thank you, Hermina, for your report. And I appreciate, and kudos to you and to your team, and let the team know, this is another month that we've not had flooding in our community, and that's a great job. I appreciate it. So a lot of the stuff, Mr. Bennett, these projects, it seemed to work, and we still have a lot to do, but thank you for our community not having a lot of standing water on the ground. But that's been a complaint, and even my complaint for many years, so thank you, keep it up. Next thing on the agenda is the engineer's report.
Okay, we talked about a good bit of things on my report.
Yes, sir.
Regarding our grant application,
Good.
we should know something in around the first of the year, whether we got awarded that grant. But one of the things that they require is that grant has to be shovel-ready.
Is this the one through Hendrick County?
Through Hendrick, yeah, and actually Hendrick County will get the grant.
Gotcha.
But they've got our projects in there. And so I've been working on getting the bid documents ready so that if we are awarded, we can immediately go
that's on the
bids
agenda.
with that.
I didn't mention that.
The clubhouse,
Yeah, they
we talked about
they're gonna get
most
to
of
that.
this. We did look at the chlorine room over there where we keep our chemicals for
Yes,
the
sir.
pool. The chlorine is actually, the chlorine gas, when it mixes with the moisture in the air, creates sulfuric acid, and it's eating the stucco off the blocks.
It's amazing.
And it's eating the blocks up too. So we're looking into, there's some coatings that we can, look at. We can, save those block walls, I believe, and recoat them. We're probably gonna need to put vents down there close to the floor with some fans to draw that, 'cause the chlorine gas
It's
It's
heavier
heavier
than
than air.
2.5 times everything.
Yeah, so, we may need to vent that room, but, we're working on getting some coatings and that kind of thing so we can save the walls in that chlorine room.
So if you could look at some good products like Tanemic.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking about.
Yeah, Tanemic has some great products.
All kind of coatings that do that.
Good.
We talked about Clyde Johnson contracting. I'll contact them about, what Benny was talking about.
Thank you.
Also, we had done a structural inspection of the clubhouse.
How'd that go?
I think you got a copy of the report in your packet, but basically, there's some cracking, at the columns around the floor. You can see where the tiles cracked. I know all of you have seen that.
Yes, sir.
Really hard to investigate the thing because of the way the clubhouse was built. Because it's got a stem wall
Yes, it does.
and the columns and the column footings are within that stem wall. There's no opening in the stem wall because it was filled with dirt.
Understood.
And then the slab was poured on top of that, so it's what we call a floating slab.
Yes, sir.
So the columns are actually supporting the building and the beams supporting the roof. And the slab is just a floor that's separate from all that.
Understood.
So it appears to us, we've looked at the beams, there's no cracks anywhere in the beams, there's no cracks anywhere in the columns, no cracks anywhere in the stem wall. So we suspect that the cracking you're seeing around the columns is nothing more than the floor actually having some uneven settlement. So the structure is sound.
Awesome.
So, you know, you could, some of that tile could be taken up, we can do some caulking and then redo the flooring and, you know, but it may crack again, but the building's not in any danger of collapse or anything. So I just wanted to let you know
So he can
that.
buy a generator and not have no building.
Right.
Go ahead.
But,
Good to hear, Mr. Bennett.
and that's really all I had, other than,
What about for the
we are looking at roads for, this coming year.
Yes, sir.
Paving project. I'll probably, next meeting, have a priority list.
So on that priority list, I know we discussed a few things. We've paved for the last 2 years and we're gonna do some not paving, but overlay. Can we look on that Hunting Club Road? There's a big section from 833 probably to at least Hacienda. There's long sections of potholes, and I'm just saying if you can bring that priority list to the board, so we know what the ideal is. But we're still going to piggyback, correct?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking this year. We paved 2 miles of roads for the last 2 years.
Okay.
And what I'm thinking this year is if we can do that piggyback contract with the county bids like we did last year, which will allow us to pave, get their prices, which are based on a big project, and get their unit prices and then go in and we can pave 1,000 feet, a quarter of a mile where it's really needed, that kind of thing. And hit some of the worst spots and maybe not do a 2-mile stretch, but just hit some of the areas where we've got some real problems, where we've been patching and that kind of thing.
So can you assist?
That's what we're trying to think about for this year.
Because I drive and my little daughter's car when they hit those potholes, I'm like the people saying the same thing and making a lot of adjectives come out of my mouth. So please take a look with Herminio. Herminio, you and your team drive these roads every day just like I do. Just show Mr. Bennett, hey, you know, just so the public knows, I don't prioritize, they do, the subject matter expert prioritize. Because if it was me, being the chair, they probably would pave my road, but again, I don't get any, Herminia doesn't do me any extra favors, so I appreciate it.
For the last 2 years, Mr. Bennett and me always go out together and we look for, you know.
Good. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Did you look at the pool? You looked at the pool, right?
I did, yeah.
You know, what I'm seeing is, and I'm certainly not an expert on the matter, but there's a lot of places that stuff is grabbed well.
Yeah.
I guess we need to wait. That's why I want to see who comes to give us a price. But I'm not so sure that you can't beat out the places where it's hollow, you know what I'm saying? That's what I want to know. I want somebody to explain to me why they can't, everywhere that's hollow, rip it out. If the rest of it is sticking well, why they can't just fix those areas?
Yeah.
Instead of the whole, and obviously on the bottom, we got a problem, because it not only was it leaking water, it was bringing in sediment. So, I don't think that's the end of the world. I think that's easier done than you think. I'm more worried about the final coat.
Yeah, I'm not a pool expert either, but the shell itself is basically a form. So I think if we can get in there and like you say, break out all that, the stuff that's loose and have it bonded to the existing walls and prep that properly and come back and coat it with a material that'll bond to it.
Yes, sir.
You know, we probably can fix it. But again, I'm not a pool expert, but I do know concrete. And so,
As well.
you know, there should be a way to fix it.
Without destroying all of it, that's what I'm after.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good.
But it's gonna take prepping it right and taking the right material to come back with so it'll bond.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mr. Bennett. Any other questions for Mr. Bennett? Mr. Gonzalez, you got a quick minute? Go ahead.
Yes, sir, thank you. Regarding the clubhouse, now, and I'm sorry, maybe out of context right here, but regarding the clubhouse, now that the kids are not gonna be able to use the pool, is there any way that the board could go ahead and open up the park area for the kids?
It's on the agenda. It's on the agenda.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. When they do that, let me see the report, because we do rehabs on lift stations and we have concrete going on concrete, so I understand adhesives and good coatings, and actually what's the most important thing is the workmanship of the cleaning and how they prep it up. That's actually key. If they don't do a good job on the cleaning and the prepping, I don't care what you stick to it, it's gonna come off.
Are we waiting for the people who did that to give us an answer about what they may do about it?
That was the first thing.
That's the first
Trying
thing.
to get them to come and look at it. But
That's terrible.
I don't know if there's any possibility of a warranty or not, but probably not.
They're gonna back away from it, I can tell you. 4 years, 5 years later, they should be ashamed of
Yeah,
themselves.
that was done back in 2016, Josh, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Appreciate your report. Mr. Boyd, you have the floor.
Becky, can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Becky, I'm not seeing anybody else. I'm just getting a waiting screen going here. Is that something to do with not being in yet?
We hear you loud and clear.
It's fine.
Okay. All right, I'm done. I don't need to see anybody.
Get that dog, get that dog.
Okay, so I'm just seeing myself, and I got a waiting circle going around.
We hear you loud and clear on this
That's
side,
his
and we can see you loud and clear.
His internet's bad.
Okay. Okay, well, that's fine, it doesn't matter. Okay, the treasurer's report, we spent $274,000, for the month of August. We didn't have to transfer any money. Of a total tax assessment of $1,750,388. We're down to collected everything to about $15,000. As far as what we collected in August, we collected $28,589. The current year comparison, we're under just about $6,700 the year before, which is pretty insubstantial for that amount of money. The delinquent tax comparison, we did collect about $45,000 more than the year before than this year. As far as our budget to date, these statements go for 11 months, so we're down to August, just one more month to go. And if you compare, the budget would have been $1,971,000, and we spent about $1,897,000. So we're about $74,000 under budget, about 12% under budget, with just one more month to go. So that's looking good.
I'll take my mask off, I'm about to say some stuff now. Go ahead.
I've been holding it for a long time.
Go ahead, good. Keep going. Keep going, Mr. Boyd.
Okay. And that's normal things I go over unless there's any questions, and of course we got some budget stuff later on the agenda.
So, I do, Mr. Boyd, I appreciate that. So let me ask you something. When we came on the board, and I just needed a couple of years to gauge what we were doing, if I'm not mistaken, we were supposed to see a deficit of how much in this fiscal year? How much was the deficit supposed to be?
About $300,000.
And we're what?
$297,000.
And we're at 12% under, correct?
We're about $227,000 deficit, something in that range.
So we're gonna have a deficit of we have a chance of breaking even on this budget?
Well, we're not breaking even. I mean, our budget was, to go under about 297,000 as
Okay.
far as spending that much more than what we took in.
Understood.
So we're doing $74,000 better than we had planned, but we're still losing, still losing money when it's all said and done.
Understood. Okay.
But we are doing better than what was budgeted.
Okay, so we still came a lot under than what we were forecasted to spend this year, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
if we don't spend a whole lot in the last month of September, then we'll have done it quite a bit better than what the budget was.
Well, September's pretty much already spent right now because we're already at the end, so we're already spent. So, but what I'm trying to say, and I want to tell the board and the community is, we were projected to do really not so good this year and the next year. And that's all dependent on the board as well as the people spending the money in the capital. So kudos, because we've got a lot accomplished this fiscal year, and we actually, we did as good stewards. We helped the community. We still have a challenging future because we have, as Louis stated, we have a lot of new people coming in. We're only dealing with the same amount of money. So we as Montorians have to figure out what we're going to do to get creative, because if you don't want your taxes raised, we got to do something that we've never done before. We got to get creative, because the only way to make all this continue to happen and not raise our taxes is to figure out ways to bring in money to our community.
Help is on the way.
So thank you, Mr. Boyd. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Boyd?
Let me catch up my glasses. We're gonna pay for that. No, I'm good.
Mr. Lewis?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd.
Help is on the way. That's all I can say.
Good job, manager and staff and board for paying. I know Denise put a halt to the spending of the field, because we were going through field, pretty fast here. I think we were spending quite a bit of money. So thank you for. I know some of the residents have complained, and they've complained to me, and I said, hey, we're only dealing with limited funding. We're trying to make it stretch as much as possible. So please try to make it stretch as much as possible. And
Well, they didn't blame you anyway.
hey, well, I got big
Blame him.
shoulders. It doesn't
Oh,
bother
they
me.
blame
I don't
me?
care.
Don't you? I blame him.
I tell them the same thing.
Thank you.
So, Mr.
Gotta keep you popular.
Mr. Famero, we're ready for your report,
Wait.
sir?
And I'll be brief. We
You
got
gotta keep it
6
popular.
items on the agenda. We haven't even gotten.
Let's make it happen.
We gotta, and there's money there. So, speaking of money, through a recommendation from Mr. Alvarez.
Okay.
I have spoken to a couple of engineers familiar with the area. We talk about, like Mr. Bennett said, shovel-ready projects. We know there's going to be grant money out there, potentially big grant money to fund some of our flood management projects.
Okay.
So I'm going to be getting with Mr. Bennett and talking to some of the candidates so that they can put together what would basically be a conceptual proposal to do the engineering, because we have to do it step by step. First step is you develop conceptual plans for our top 2 or 3 projects, and you start putting some real numbers to
Yes.
those projects.
Yes, sir.
Is it a $2 million project, a $4 million project. And then step two is you go into actual design. You go into, maybe a 30% design.
30, 60, 90, 100,
Yeah.
somehow you do it.
But like Mr. Bennett said, the projects that are at the top of the list, the ones that get the money first are what they call shovel-ready projects.
Gotcha.
Shovel-ready means you got at least a 60% design.
Good.
And you got permits or permit applications pending. So that's a long road, but, because of COVID, we're hearing there's a lot of potential money, federal and state money coming, so we're heading in that direction.
And you don't foresee us, because I know we have an inter-agreement with Henry County. You don't foresee us going after the same projects, correct? We're not fighting against, I'm not saying fighting, but we're not working, we're not competing for the same grants, correct, most likely?
I don't know. So the interlocal agreement that we signed with him doesn't preclude us from chasing money on our own.
Understood.
We can always do that. Now, if there was something, because remember, the money we're chasing is gonna really be 100% about emergency management, which is drainage, flood control. I mean, I can see Hendry County potentially going after, but to be honest with you, what we have, our need, makes Hendry County's need look very small.
And depending if they're shovel-ready as well, correct?
Absolutely.
Compared to us.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Did you have a question?
If I recall right, when I started this process for the grant money, and I was talking to the director of Henry County, we're not fighting, we're not competing
Good.
with them.
Awesome.
This is money allocated to water conservation areas and some other things, but nothing that it will take money away from them.
Awesome.
That's the only reason why they're helping us.
Awesome.
And if Mr. Alvarez's candidate for president does not win, the potential for money could be big because the current president talked about a $2 trillion infrastructure program that would come next year. And again, just because of where we are, where we're located, we should be at the top of the list.
But we gotta
I told you
be
so was
ready.
you, man.
But we have to be ready.
So was you, man.
If Mr. Alvarez's candidate wins, that might not be available.
One thing I can tell you, my candidate will win. Again.
Because I saw Biden sign on his front.
You see that?
I told you you're the popular group. You don't knock it.
2020, baby.
And then, I've also drafted a couple of hold harmless release agreements that, as we go forward in the future, we can start reusing over and over.
Good.
One for the reservoir folks, one that I think would apply to Rolly's project, so.
And future ones that other
Yeah,
people
so
are
we
gonna
can
do.
just, she's got them, we just plug in the names and the dates and.
Good.
I sent you an email.
We also have one for the basketball tournaments that he did for me.
Beautiful, perfect. I sent you an email, just recently sent you an email, if you could get back to me. What
Just now?
Yeah, but he told me you're out of the office, but that's okay. So I need to know, the GL that I have for my company as well, it's a $1 million GL that I use all the time. How much are you guys asking for? 'Cause
That's,
a $1 million
one million's
GL,
about the
okay?
standard.
1 million is
you know,
about right.
so, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and what else? Oh, and just reminders, I sent you a couple of weeks ago, you have to do your quarterly disclosure forms, your Form 2 and your Form 9. Okay, remember, that's very important. Quarterly, so one is a quarterly gift disclosure, which you'll probably put 000. It's one
It's in
page.
the agenda. The copies are there in the agenda, behind your
Look at
report.
I usually
Look
don't do
at
mine
that,
till I
right
ready.
behind the
Kill me.
report. Right behind the attorney report of the forms, so.
I'm not gonna do mine early, because I'm gonna start now.
Okay.
Hey, they'll think something's wrong if mine gets in early.
There's, here's, so, there's a Form 9 and a Form 2 behind the report. And that's all I have, so we can get to the agenda.
Any questions for the attorney? No questions for the attorney, let's get into the meat so we can knock this out. We need to discuss and vote on the adoption, the final adoption of
Yeah.
the budget.
We are required, this is showtime for the final budget. And keep in mind too, as the year goes on, we're starting our fiscal year.
Yes, sir.
October 1st, you can make budget amendments throughout the year. In fact, it's common, as
It
we
is.
learn things and change priorities, to make budget amendments, so.
Right. Okay?
And I don't know if John Boy, if you have anything to say prior to the adoption of the final budget?
Well, no, I mean, we've been over it, we adopted the tentative budget. The final budget was presented at last August meeting, so now it's just time to approve the budget that we've all seen.
Okay. Board, can we get a motion on the floor to adopt the final budget for 2020-21?
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor, we have a second? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries on the final adoption of the budget for 2020-2021.
Please don't leave, we've got to sign a bunch of resolutions.
Not a problem. I have someone right here.
Oh, you have, okay.
Yeah.
He has to sign.
Yes, we have to get those filed.
He has to sign.
We got it right here.
He is the key.
Next one is discuss and vote on the, Mr. Herminio. Would you take the lead on that, reopening the clubhouse?
Yes, I want to ask the board if, we can open the reservoir, except for the pool, of course.
The reservoir?
The clubhouse. He's somewhere else right now.
I think what he's asking
Give it back to him.
clubhouse.
Go ahead.
The reopening of the clubhouse
Okay.
on the park side, the main building is already open.
Understood.
I'm talking about in the park.
Okay.
Go back to the regular hours, regular days, 7 to 6, Saturday, Sunday, every day.
Okay.
Now what the heck is he gonna say?
Can we get a motion on the floor for the?
Hold it.
I think many have done.
Or you have a question? Go. Even better.
More like a statement.
Okay.
You have someone that's gonna keep an eye on that playground, make sure everyone follows the rules. You're not just gonna open it up and let it be a free-for-all.
I hope not. That's why we
You
have.
follow me?
The only,
You're gonna open up the playground.
right,
Somebody's gonna have to keep an eye on it.
right.
So we have to-
We always,
Well, but we can cross all the T's
I
and
totally
dot all the
agree.
I's.
That's what we pay him for. We
That's
have
why he gets the
employees
big
here.
bucks.
There you go. Hold on one second.
are we talking about, like, for example, make sure that it's only 3 kids inside the playground?
No.
Well,
No,
not,
sir,
no,
what
that
he's,
did not
what he's
work.
talking about is social distancing.
everybody stays away from each other. They're
And
not out there
there's not 15
on
kids.
top of each other,
Yeah.
wrestling around the ground.
Mandatory mask.
You know how kids are.
We don't have employees in the clubhouse for that.
That's what I'm talking
So
about.
utilize your, so can you get creative to find a way to utilize some employees in the clubhouse and maybe an employee outside just to walk around and to pay attention? And as Denise has said many times, is to educate the people, hey, by the way, we're watching you, we're not trying to watch you, but can you please follow these guidelines? Because we want you and your children to come out here and burn some of this great energy that they have in
Me
you.
Yeah, we don't want
Hold on one
to
second.
we don't want to
Me
get
first.
watcher. We just want somebody every now and then to
Sure.
look out there, and if they need to go out there, hey, you know.
So
That's what I'm gonna say
that
right
we
now.
do. That we can do.
Yes, sir.
So,
That's what I
like,
wanna do.
somebody being there.
No, but.
No,
you know what
not
I'm
somebody
saying?
at the gate, somebody watching the playground.
Somebody watching, just to make sure, hey, by the way, you have too many right now in this area, can you please, you know?
Yeah, that we can do.
And I think if you speak to the parents, I think they can help out and be a
The only
great
thing,
job.
I made one.
there's not gonna be no parties allowed, no gathering, none of that.
We'll let you figure that out as being the district manager and the club. Hold on, hold on one second, we will get to your answers, hold on one second. Do we have a motion on the floor to open the reopening of the clubhouse? We have a motion on the floor, do we have a second? All right, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Go ahead.
Okay, you could do
I'd
the
like to add,
CDC
can
sign.
I add one thing?
Yes, sir.
This is mostly for Mr. Famero. On the resolutions, as far as the budget goes, the line was blank as far as when
That's
the
your treasurer.
tentative budget was adopted. Just want to make sure that July 22nd is when we actually
It's on the original
adopted
one,
it, because
the one Mr.
the
Maza
first
has.
meeting was
Yeah, John Boy, we have it written
because
down
of
on this.
COVID.
Yeah, we got it here on this draft, it's written down.
Okay, I just wanna make sure, because the draft I had, it was still blank, so. Okay, I just wanna make sure that July 22nd is what we got.
Quickly, you don't have 3 minutes, Maria.
Okay, you could put the CDC signs, which you already have. Educate the parents. Child needs to be supervised, masked at all times. You could put hand sanitizers.
Yes.
And yes, we could reopen the park.
We already did.
But I'm saying, with those conditions
That's
for
what we love
parents.
to do, yeah.
We can always let people go through the building and then go.
And then go there instead of leaving the gate open. Instead of the main
And Maria
open.
volunteering to make that happen.
Hey, I'll be there if I have to, you know I
I
volunteer.
appreciate it, and we will do our job as
Don't use me, abuse me.
hold on 1 second, baby, hold on.
Don't use me, abuse me.
Go ahead, brother.
Now, if I can add to what she said, I think it is a good idea. A lot of places, legally, it's not enforceable, but a lot of places, when the parents come to drop them off, they gotta sign a little form that says, my kid's gonna comply with the CDC.
No, we're not talking about dropping
Don't drop
off.
it off.
No. Parent has to be physically there with the
No, they gotta
child.
be there.
The point is that they even, it makes them pay more attention at the sign.
Yeah, but here in Ventura, that would be too much. But you do have to put signs up and have the parents abide by those laws. You educate the parent educates the child. I believe that's how it works.
Well,
In some cases.
Yeah, not in many. Shut up.
It's usually the other way around. I've noticed that the kids educate the parent how to use that phone. And
Arminio, I like the plan though, that's what I was getting at. They make them come through the clubhouse.
Through the clubhouse.
Y'all are watching them, then
Yes.
just look out every now and then and make sure.
We already got the gun and
Hey.
everything.
Oh, God
I
almighty.
like the idea.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. Good job.
Appreciate the board for opening up. Let's get to the next one. Discuss and vote generator for the clubhouse and auctions. Really, you wanna take the floor on that one more time?
I think Benny's gonna be better.
I'm not gonna vote.
Well, Benny is the one who put most of the stuff together, so.
Let's see what he conjured up.
You should have took the credit for it. I don't have nothing to gain one with this. Anyway, we've been, after the generator conversation, I got with the people of United Rental. Yeah, they want you to pay to have them on standby. The guy says that quite possibly the one we use is smaller than what everybody else gets, so quite possibly we could gamble a little bit and have one when we needed it.
Yes, sir.
But then we started talking about used generators, and I thought, all right, good. So he sent me a list of generators. I mean, you looked at them, they were a little high on hours, but I have to point out something. I have a generator for my house. It was 13 years old with 43 hours on it. So my point being, if you bought one that's halfway gone, you'll never wear it out. Because I mean 43 hours. So anyway, so we still didn't like what we saw. We talked about a 25,000, right? 25 kW. I'm sorry, yeah, 25 kW. And then we ran. And these were generators that were going to sit down on the ground. Permanent. And we thought about that too. Why would you? We have a lot of buildings here, so let's look at one for a trailer. One with a trailer. You've seen them. They come all made on the trailer. So we finally ran into one. He has one with 3,000 hours. It's a 2930, I believe it is, which is bigger than what we need, for $17,000. 3,000 hours.
that's good.
Oh yeah, that's where but we want to make sure the board is on board.
That's not bad.
So the gentleman went as far, as soon as I leave this meeting,
I had generators at the
I will call
house.
him
Sorry to
because
tell you.
that's a hot item. There's only one. This company's huge and they only have that one that meets that scenario. Now,
Well, what happened with that is also that Benny, we kind of compromised with the guy, not compromised, so we talked to the guy to bring the price down because the generator was actually close to 20,000.
yeah.
The guy says, okay, if you guys willing to give me an answer for next Wednesday, I can bring it down to 17.
We beat him down a little bit. So now this generator,
The new one, the standby, which we cannot move anywhere, is 26,000.
right. Now this one was probably 2730,
Any warranty on it?
and
It's only 3,000 hours.
3,000 hours. Whatever's there, I'm sure we can consume. Now, these people they'll get it ready for us. They will come here once a year, make sure it runs just before hurricane season, do an inspection, crank it up, run it. they'll do all of that.
Yes,
I don't, they'll sell you a new one, but I can tell you, 3,000 hours for that big, and remember, this is not the 25, we wound up with a bigger one for 17,000. Again, when I leave here, I gotta call him and tell him what we're gonna do. He rented it out, so they didn't sell it, because somebody was gonna grab it, because I couldn't give him an answer.
So we have to have a special pigtail to go to the transfer switch, to go to the electrical box.
That's why we hold the
That's another thing, yeah.
Guy Johnson from
Right.
either putting the transfer switch or not. So
Now,
that's
two
the
things,
whole-
once you do that, you need to set this place up the same way.
With a pigtail.
Yeah, because you can hook it to a pickup truck, and you can take it there, you can bring it there, and if y'all don't need it, I can use it at my house.
I thought you were gonna donate the one you had at your
Question.
house.
What would the maintenance be on it per year?
Excuse me?
What is the maintenance on it per year?
There is no maintenance.
$136 if you're gonna change the oil every year.
But you could do that monthly.
Yeah, and we can do it in-house with our in-house.
Yeah, in-house.
Yeah, we can, or we can get a service contract, but I think we have capable guys here that can service it. I can watch YouTube and service it, it's not that. I
Oh
don't think
God,
it's that
please don't
difficult.
It's
watch.
not hard.
So,
Listen, my generator has not got to the first
That's
oil
only-
change.
it's
50
only 4
hours
months.
is the first oil change. It's 13 years old.
So
It's
let me,
only 4 months old. That generator is only real 4 months old
Yeah.
if you really do
Yeah,
that.
So-
it's in good shape.
so
for
let
the money.
me
It's
see.
actually,
Sell it to us.
it's 2018.
So it's only 4 months old.
Yeah.
If I'm not
What you
mistaken,
do
it's
with the hours and all that.
2018.
All right, so
We
let me
got
get
more than
this.
we wanted.
So let me get this right, so the motion on the floor is to get a used diesel generator for price of 17K, and it's more than enough to do what we need, is that
Yeah, it's
correct?
bigger than what we wanted, but hey,
Okay. Any questions before we vote on this from the board?
I thought they wanted LP.
No, LP is natural
diesel. This is the best way
gas.
to go.
We're going diesel, if we're going to do
And we
something.
have diesel here. That's the thing, you don't block yourself in.
Yeah.
Well, y'all,
So
it
do
is.
so we have a motion on the floor for, a used generator for 17,000, and it has 3,000
We're still
hours.
gonna stay under budget.
So we have a motion on the floor, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Yes.
Finally.
Now, don't buy it until the next fiscal year.
No, you got 74,000. You still got 74.
You still got
Alright, so
74
we
to go?
have that.
You're still under budget.
Now, the next item is discuss and vote creating additional heavy equipment operator position. Arminio, take the floor with that, please.
We finally, which I forgot that on my report, we just bought laser equipment that is really simple, and we already did the training on it. We paid $5,700 for it, and we try it, it works. Really simple, just a laser cutter and the laser. We can either start the project on the swells.
That hasn't been started in,
That hasn't been started in a long time.
okay?
So that's why I'm requesting the heavy equipment operator, which has been forever, but I know the money and this and that.
Yes, sir.
If we can get that position open, we can start that project.
And also, you have a gentleman that's probably retiring soon as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, can we get a motion on the floor for, do we have a motion on the floor for creating a heavy? Yes, sure, for sure. Go ahead.
I don't believe this is the right proper time to hire somebody else. Look at the numbers. I think we should wait a little bit on that. See how we can make some type of adjustments so we don't go deeper than we are. So.
Okay, good comment. Anybody else have a comment before we vote on this?
You're wanting someone to put on that machine to run full-time, is that what you're saying? I don't understand, you have a backhoe operator. He's not gonna take care of the swells as you
Yes.
go, or, I mean, we still can't go
We
full
have,
speed.
we have plenty excavator operators, but
Okay.
we have a lot of projects everywhere. So like I was mentioned a few times, my truck driver is also my excavator operator.
I love it.
And he's also my grader, and he's also my, So
To the government.
everybody is doing a lot of different things.
And that's what, and as they should. That's a
Right,
good
so,
way.
for example, so you have a good example. Right now, my truck driver is cleaning up on the reservoir. So that's gonna take a long time, so he's
Run
out.
the machine on the reservoir.
So if I need, he was on the truck today, we didn't do anything on the reservoir today. And, you know, I had to be playing back and forth to see how.
Remember, I had you a part-time guy that's very experienced on the machine. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. So that's the only reason why.
And we had a guy that would come as you needed him. If you needed him Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, he would come. And the next week, you needed him Tuesday, Friday, and he would be here. So I don't know if that helps. We can use him. He doesn't need the money. So if we get short, you can stop him. Versus hire someone that now you have the responsibility of paying him every week. And you know,
Any more questions? Do we have a motion on the floor for the creating of the additional equipment? The heavy equipment operator position. Do we have a motion on the floor? 1, 2, 3, we have no motion on the floor. It's denied, just come back at a different time.
I have another motion.
Okay.
Oh, God.
What I want to do is, let's go back to the part-time guy that we can use as we have money.
And the board has to understand one more thing.
No insurance.
And I agree with what we're saying, but we're losing a greater operator that's all we have.
When's he leaving?
This year, so you do the math.
He's leaving pretty soon.
What happens if he passes away tomorrow? What happens?
That's a really good
What
question.
happens if he passes something wrong with him tomorrow?
What do you got?
So again, we denied it, but.
Hold on now. Yeah, when is he leaving? That's what, I thought he still had a ways to go.
This year, this fiscal
Well,
year.
he's gonna be leaving in less than a month.
Oh, you gotta hire the guy. Golly.
You gotta hire.
Back up.
Come on.
Can we revisit that?
And this is for a grader operator?
John?
No.
Somebody else.
I'm requesting
An additional.
an additional heavy equipment operator.
All right, I stand firm where I was, not additional. A replacement, I got no problem with, but additional, we can find someone, we talked about this before, did we not? About having someone, and there was a guy, he lives here, that would do it, I don't know if he will or not, but he would do it as you needed him, and he can run the machines. So you keep your dump truck driver where he is, you call this guy as you need him. Like I said, if you wanted to work Monday and Thursday this week, Monday and Thursday. He doesn't need the income I don't think we have the money to hire him. And additional, I don't see it. Look where we are now.
All right,
No,
so,
that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I can only ask.
No, that's fine.
Keep going with project.
Yeah, grader.
motion didn't pass. Remedial, thanks for bringing it up. We'll go to the next one. Discuss and vote purchasing.
We already talked about that one.
You did it
Wait a minute,
backwards.
back up. Are we gonna be able to use, let's look at the part-time guy. Do y'all wanna pursue that? Again,
How about getting a replacement for the one who's retired?
that goes without saying. If you're gonna take care of
That
that.
is already.
Yeah, that goes without saying. That's why I stopped.
Okay.
All right, now, let's visit the part-time guy. Are y'all interested in doing that?
Now he comes in and works.
He comes
whenever
in
he-
as we need him. This gentleman's retired, he wanted to do something. He's a backhoe operator, he's got some good references, good guy. And he doesn't, no insurance, you ain't got to just pay him. When you need him, when you have money. What's not to love?
We've asked for this. I've been asking, I think even Louis, you mentioned it several times that we haven't had enough employees here. So I think it's the proper time. Obviously, we've shown the community and our financial guy that we can handle our budget. So, but we are a growing community. Our constituents are going to complain if we don't make something happen. Hold on.
Well, they're going to complain. They're also going to complain when you raise their taxes because at the rate we're going to be broke in about 8 years if I calculate it right. We are spending more money than we're taking in, guys. We have to stop the bleeding somewhere. I mean, it's a big deal. This is a big deal. We have to stop the bleeding.
The services has to continue at the same
People
time.
can complain, right? No, and we are. People can complain about they want more.
Yes,
the
sir.
minute you say let's pay another $100 a year, they want to hang you. So it can't be both ways.
Understood.
It's got to be one way or the other. Yes,
Do we have a different motion on the
My
floor?
motion is we revisit The part-time guy.
Part-time.
We use him as we need him.
Do you have a part-time guy that you were gonna hire?
Well, there's only, no, you guys have to. The only problem is, are we talking about a special guy, or we talking?
I have one in mind.
about-
We've danced around this so long, he may, I don't know if he's available, but let's say he's not available. Let's say we can find someone, say we're gonna work you, well, yeah, that's the thing. This guy was very flexible. How do we find another guy like that?
The part-time John is 32 hours or less? John, 32 hours or less?
Or say 20 hours a week. Let's say we're gonna find a guy that if this guy doesn't wanna do it, 20 hours a week is what you're gonna get. We ought to
Okay,
manage that all the way through.
You guys really don't have to approve a part-time. You guys already did. The only problem with that is we never use it, because remember, I brought to the book, I'm sorry, Bruce. Back then, when you guys approved it, I said, we did the numbers, and if we give overtime to our employees, we save half of what we're gonna have to pay to a part-time. And we've been doing it like that.
That's right, so then we're good.
So last year we saved like $19,000 out of that, just by doing overtime at the dump site.
Yeah, we're talking
But
about.
if you guys agree,
have the floor.
if you guys agree to use that position that was brought up, I think, by Louis, no? Or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, that position was especially for the dump site at $9 or $10 an hour, something like that. That was a vote at that moment. So if you guys want to change that same part-time to $15 an hour, because that's what heavy equipment operators get paid, or $14 an hour.
They taking a pay cut over here.
Easy boy, let him go, go ahead. So,
That's fine. I mean.
so the guy that you
If
have.
you're trying to get a part-time for $9 an hour to do an excavator, you're not gonna find it.
I don't think you're gonna find something.
You're not gonna find it.
Go ahead, Louis.
I love the idea of Benny, of part-time flexible.
Yes.
That's the key. Not part-time, you have to give them so many hours.
Yes, sir.
Part-time flexible is on call, you need it, you wanna work, yes, no, fine, everybody's happy.
Yes, sir.
No benefits, no nothing like that. If you keep it under 32 hours.
Let's average. If I can, I'm gonna call this guy again, if everybody agrees.
I don't think you're gonna have any.
So I don't have a problem, and I think it's a good idea to hire or have somebody on standby on part-time flexible. So I hereby make a motion on Benny's idea to hire, or create a position of part-time flexible without affecting that minimum wage employee for the dumpster and other stuff.
Good. So here's what most organizations do, so you understand. When you hire a part-time guy, correct? I'm not against your idea, but you don't lowball the person. You give them what they need because they're not getting benefits. So if you're gonna find if you're looking for somebody for 12 to 15, you're not gonna find anybody
I
like
know that, but
especially if they're not gonna get benefits. So please don't look. We're trying to bring quality people here to work in our community, to stay here. If we're not gonna give them benefits, I think we can agree as a board, you can pay that person, he or she, probably a better decent wage.
I would say
And
minimum
I like
$18 an hour.
I like the
maybe
flexibility that you talk about as well.
Well,
The idea
that's
back
why I
then-
brought up the 9 and the 15, because, I
You
mean,
ain't gonna find
No,
that.
you're gonna have to pay 18 minimum with no benefits to a backhoe operator. You may go into 20 before it's over.
The idea back then was to have a part-time, it could be a senior citizen, it can be somebody, the only thing they would have to do is look around, he will not have to actually work. So we can have that position to help somebody in the community make a few dollars. Now, he would not have to drive no truck, he would not have to do that. It would only be used like in the weekends if it's needed or whatever. So I don't want to mix the high quality part-time flexible than to replace it with the guy's gonna make $17, $20 an hour.
Understood.
So long as we keep it separated, I don't have a problem.
So nobody has objection with, he needs to pay better. I said minimum of $18 an hour.
Well, it's up to the manager.
All right, then so be it. Good. Let's leave it at it.
Yeah, very quick, yeah, you touched upon what I was gonna say. So if you are gonna hire a permanent part-time, you should vote on it. And if you're gonna hire a part-time flexible, That's not a
No big
vote,
deal.
that's a contractor, and you just make sure you got a budget for that. And keep in mind, the general rule is, if someone is not getting benefits, it's like 35, 40% multipliers. So,
That's correct.
yeah, you can and should pay a part-time person, you can't a little more because of that multiplier, that's 30, 40%. And that's just making sure you have it in the budget for that person.
Make it appealing, $20 an hour.
Yeah, we'll find somebody, for sure.
Hey, you got lights on the machine?
So you have any questions on that one?
No, sir.
Crystal clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother, thank you. All right, what about purchase or leasing of a truck? Oh, that's the one that you gave us a little while ago?
Yes.
Okay, so
So
let,
the numbers,
You're
the
done.
Benny was saying, this is a lot of numbers, I gotta look at it,
yeah,
whatever.
let us,
Yes.
chew that, so let's table that for the next meeting, let's chew on that. Board, if you would, look at the numbers that, we talked about leasing trucks or hauling truck or buying
I'm talking
truck.
about this page.
Okay, and then the last but not least, the, well, almost least, the discuss and vote the, addressing the pool resurfacing issues, we don't have all the information?
That's what,
The banner says he was working on it.
Okay, so we don't have to vote on that at this time until we get all the information. With that being said, before the adjournment, before we adjourn, do you have anything?
I'm sure I can think of something
I
out
have
there.
to.
All right.
We got the generator.
Lewis, you have anything, questions,
I would just like to
supervisors?
make a notice.
Go ahead.
I have created a webpage
Okay.
called Montura.info. It doesn't have nothing to do with Central County,
Okay,
although I already checked with the attorney. Anything that is public information that I would like to post on it,
Mhm.
as long as it's public information,
good.
there's no problem. I just don't want you guys to thinking that I'm replacing the webpage here or nothing like that. This is just like a community benefit.
Good.
What you showed me, I liked.
I'm sorry?
I said I liked. What you showed me, I liked.
Good.
You can't talk
Good
behind
deal.
the mask.
So, Lewis, you're good. Denise, do you have anything?
Yes.
No.
I've got one thing as well, but go ahead.
He had
Go,
to.
Denise.
We're out of time, we're out of time.
Yeah. Mr. Emilio sent me a letter. Mr. Emilio, oh, this is the checks.
Is it a check or letter?
Sent me a letter.
Okay.
I didn't answer him till today.
So, about Emilio, this Emilio?
Do you know any other Emilio?
That could be some other Emilio, I don't know who we're talking
Well,
about.
we're talking about
The
Central
manager.
County.
The man.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Well, how many letters did he send you?
One.
Okay.
You just gotta find it. Give me his letter.
Oh, I could find it. The top one, well, he doesn't have to yet. Okay. It says, "Good afternoon, Denise," or should I preface this with, let me tell you what happened first. This is about the third or fourth, I have it written down on the dates. The third or fourth time that we set up to go and get trees. Have you heard me talk about trees before?
Yes, very good.
First time I've ever heard it.
Thank you.
You're a tree hugger, we know.
Okay. And we discussed it.
Yes,
We,
approved it.
you guys approved my getting money for it. I went out and I took pictures in West Palm of exactly what could be done so that it would be easy for the maintenance crew to cut the grass. I took that into consideration. We decided that if we get some trees from Montura, it will be cheaper because we have 4 properties that belong to Central County, so we went to those properties, we saw it. Then we agreed, when I say we, he and I agreed it was my idea, but he agreed to it also, that some trees should not be taken out of there for certain areas, like the clubhouse, to make it look even better. And we were gonna put trees going down to Marilu, right? So you're aware of that.
We didn't agree on Marilu, we agreed on Cabbage Palm.
No, we agreed.
We agreed.
Avenida del Centro.
Right here, in front of the clubhouse.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Okay.
Hold on, Emmanuel.
Okay.
Louis, hold on, go ahead, keep going.
So this incident happened on one of the properties. When I got there, I had to call Becky up because I was on the wrong property, so it was across the street, so I went there, and Jose and another worker, I don't know who he is, were there, and Minion was not there. And they explained to me that the first site that we had seen was the wrong one, so this is the southern part of that street. So he shows up, and there are 4 trees that have been already taken out. As he takes up, to make it short, what got to me was that he made the statement of, I'm not gonna water the trees. I said, there's a tank that I've been hearing everybody talk about that you put on top of a truck.
Yeah, we have one.
Thank you. You heard me discuss that before, do you remember my discussing it here?
I recall, yes.
Thank you. And he tells me, no, I'm not going to water it. This is not my job. I don't have men to do it. And I don't know what's gonna happen. And anyway, they don't need water. So I'm saying, they're gonna die. I just finished telling you, I don't have the time, I don't have the men, there is no money. The day before, 2 days before this incident happened, he called me. I called him to tell him that I had already spoken to 6 nurseries in Fort Myers because he told me that there was no way that I was gonna go to Miami to buy trees.
Homestead.
Homestead.
That's
Okay.
That's where most people go.
Right, Homestead. He said he wasn't gonna send a truck out there to bring the trees. I didn't argue the point. So he said, go to Fort Myers. I called 6 nurseries.
Okay.
Okay? And I call him up and I tell them they need verbal authorization of these trees. Ask me the price. I said for 15 gallons or whatever, I think it was $120 a tree. Each
For
tree.
all of them?
Each tree.
Oh. 15-gallon pot.
I could tell that you don't buy trees. For all of them, $120.
You might have got them wholesale. I can get you.
No.
Keep going, keep going.
So-
I'm gonna give you 3 minutes. You know,
You're gonna have to give me more.
Go ahead, the floor is yours.
So, I called him up and I said, I need for you to know that I'm ready to order this, and I give him the information, and he tells me, I want the name of the company. And I said, they're waiting for me, they know me. So they could order, it takes 2 weeks for them to gather the trees and bring them into the nursery. No, I want the name of the nursery. And I said, what do you want it for? He says, because I want to see if I could buy 20 trees. Do you think I'm not going to give him the name of the nursery? I gave it to him immediately.
I
20?
didn't say I want to buy 20 trees.
I want
wanted
to see
10.
how much the is going to charge me
Hold
for
on.
20
Hold on, trees.
Hold on, man.
trees.
You got the floor, hold
What he
on.
told me.
Hold on.
Okay? So, I gave him the number. That was 2 days before this. I show up here, and this has been already canceled twice before.
Go ahead.
And when I show up, he comes in and he tells me he's not gonna water the tree. So I said to him, don't take out any more trees. Don't take out any more trees because this is not gonna work out. There was another worker there. I was screaming at him because he was on the machine, right? You were coming towards us and there was no way he could hear me. So I wanted to make sure that he didn't take out any more trees because I didn't want it on my conscience that these trees were thrown out. I walked back to where he is and the other worker is, and I said to the worker, did you hear what I said? I told him not to take out any more trees. I'm not gonna be held responsible for throwing out trees.
Okay.
And I walked back to my car, and I left the scene, okay?
All right.
When I got home, I got a letter, and this is the letter, so now you know, I prefaced it with this.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Denise. Per our conversation earlier, I would like to establish that your project is more in-depth than just replanting trees and keeping up with them. It is? I want you to tell me, how is it in-depth? You take the tree out, you go to the other site, you plant it, and you maintain the tree, keeping up with them.
Can I answer that part?
No, you cannot answer until I finish.
Hold on, brother.
I will not-
You have your rebuttal.
Listen to
You
your
have-
words. I know these are not your words.
You have your, you
I
have
know
your,
these are not your words.
you have your
Everything,
rebuttal.
everything that came out from that office is my responsibility. So that is my word.
You have your rebuttal.
Okay, all right. I will, listen to what you wrote. I would like to establish that your project is more in-depth than just replanting trees and keeping up with them. I suggest that you bring it to the board, and if they agree with your project, we can move forward. He had just finished telling me that he doesn't need your authorization because he could authorize the buying of the trees. That's what he's referring to there. There is a lot of landscaping maintenance that will be needed with the upkeep, and we don't have manpower. The only maintenance upkeep is watering those trees until they are established. Once they are established, they take care of themselves, okay? And we don't have the manpower for this project or the resource to purchase any more trees that you mentioned. Well, we haven't purchased any. So how can it be more than what we purchased when the board hasn't purchased any? Also, the board will be aware that you are asking for the workers to be redirected from their original post for the maintenance of your project. We will be more than happy to accommodate your request if the board agrees. The board had already agreed. This is another day of postponing whatever project I have, okay? You have anything to say about that? 'Cause I'm not going to-
The board agrees on what?
That I could
The board has never voted to do landscaping. The board has never voted to buy trees. That was never voted. I don't know which trees you're talking about. And you need to, when you bring something like that, you need to go the whole story, not halfway.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
Now,
I'm sorry.
He's got the floor.
when you was bothering me for 2 weeks with the trees.
Yeah.
Okay. When you came to my office, you wasn't asking, you was demanding money to go and buy trees.
And I wasn't demanding money.
Becky, am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong?
Arminio, you speak for the office, it's you, brother.
Okay, so, my question, and I stopped you because you were in a really bad mood and you were screaming at me at the office, right?
No.
Did I or not?
No.
Do you want me to ask Becky?
You want me to say it or
I
not?
tell you what we probably need to do, John, is there any way we can table this, because it might get a little sour. Go ahead, Louis.
We've beating at that horse, we already talked about this. If I
When
recall
was
right-
this, first of all, when was this
If I
discussed?
recall right, okay, it's
For about a
very
year.
easy to go in the minutes, and I remember we talked and we said that it would be a good project for beautifications, especially the entrance, and we had to buy a few trees and
I
the
remember
board.
them cutting down trees on Avenida.
Exactly, and I brought over an estimate for Avenida del Club. I brought over,
And
I'm the one who brought it over. I said, I want to cut off trees that are falling down and this and that, and it was $25,000. That has nothing to do with what Denise is talking about.
Okay.
Denise came to the office asking me for money to buy trees. I said, no, that's not the way it works.
Okay.
I need the company so I can call them and maybe I can get a better deal out of it and buy more trees.
And
Am I right or am I wrong, Mr. Denise?
and where is this project at, so the board can?
So, Denise, after all that, Denise called me and she asked me if I get in contact with the guy. I said I called him twice and he never called me back. I left a message, he never called me back. So I told her, we can still go to our lots, get the trees, because her project is Cabbage Farm.
That's not the only one. I'm starting with Cabbage Farm.
Well, okay.
So
she
we got
started
the
with Cabbage
beautiful
Farm.
trees to move to.
Anyway, she was talking about Cabbage Farm. Cabbage Farm.
When you say Cabbage Farm, you come from Pinecone to Perimeter?
She
No.
says from Horse Club
From
to
Horse
the
Club
office.
To make about 2 islands.
Horse Club to what?
To the office. She said to the office.
I'm not planting everything.
If I remember right, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
The project involved different areas.
Okay.
One was in that, where that levee, with that, what's
For
called
widen,
that,
for widening that widen.
where
the
that
washouts
side
at.
of the levee, where all that grass is. We had a name for it.
Okay,
Well,
that's fine.
it was on the side of the road.
So it's from Horse Club, from Pinecone Horse Club to down here?
To the office, right.
Okay.
So, we agreed to one day to go to the log, and something happened with Jose, and we couldn't go.
Okay.
So, she starts screaming at me again. I said, look, we can go next week. Jose is gonna come back on Wednesday, and we can go.
Okay.
So that's the day when we went over there. She got over there and she was upset and this and that.
Okay.
How do you know that I was upset?
And
He's got the floor.
Jose was in the excavator about 100 feet away from us, inside the lot.
Okay.
She was screaming on me again on the road in front of the employee. Okay? I couldn't even hear the machine where she was. She was in the road. Jose was all the way in.
Understood.
He was
Right.
coming with a truck.
Okay, here is the point, Ms. Denise. First of all, it's not about some trees. You went in the office and you showed me a picture of what you want. And it's a whole landscaping, just like the one on 80, right? Am I right or am I wrong?
I showed you an example. I don't expect
Well,
the board
if
to
you
allow.
show me an
the
example
trees.
of what you want, it's a whole landscaping. Am I right or am I wrong?
Which 80?
When you go to West Palm Beach, that beautiful
Oh, that's
$1 million
Arden.
landscaping
That's
on the
on
left
Arden.
side.
The
Yeah.
idea,
Exactly.
the idea of how they landscaped it so that the machines could cut the grass.
So maybe,
The idea.
so he maybe misunderstood, because when he seen that,
Yeah, the picture is
I've been
scary.
to Arden, that's
Yeah,
a capital project.
That's a big money
That-
part of it.
I've been to
I
West
don't
Palm.
expect that to be done.
So,
here.
anyway,
But
Anyway.
did he get that message is what I'm asking? Go ahead, go ahead.
we still went through the lot, and we were pulling trees like she said, and she said, oh, wait a minute, that's not gonna be enough for the island. I said, what island are we talking about? Are you still wanna do that? She said, yeah, that's the whole point. I said, look, we're not in the landscaping business, and we don't have enough employees for that. Okay? We can get some trees and plant them along Cabbage Farm, and I didn't say I'm not gonna water the trees. I said the trees doesn't need water because they're right next to the main canal.
Got it.
I never said I'm not gonna.
So, as a water source.
Exactly. Now, if we do the whole landscaping that she wants,
No,
then
Denise?
you know it's a whole. It's a whole project. And she also want me to throw hoses in the canal with a pump. I said, that's not the way it works. That's not, that's not the
I
way
just
it
gave
works.
that as an example.
Oh,
Some
it was an example.
type of irrigation then.
Ms. Denise, this is the whole point, to make it clear in front of everybody. You do not show up in my office and ask me to do something by yourself. Is that very clear for you? Even less, ask me to call somebody to buy something because you want to do a project.
Now, let-
I'm here to do a board project.
And the other thing I explained to you is I will not take my employees for projects that the board already agreed to it. If you want something like that done, you can bring it to the board, and if they want to stop me from doing roads and do landscaping, I'll be more than pleased to do so.
So watch this, so again, so you can understand, all of you guys, let's calm down, because you can have a conversation without
Screaming.
It goes for both ways, so let's have a discussion without getting out of hand.
I got something I need to say.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Whenever you get done.
That's a project.
Do you really think I wanted all those trees there? The concept,
Does he,
the concept.
does he understand it?
See,
We were gonna measure it.
Does he understand what you're trying to do?
Yes.
He
I,
understands?
Yes.
I think he understood.
It was
Not
clear.
to
She
this-
wanna do
Not
that
to that
project.
size.
She wanna do that.
Not to that size, never.
So you wanted the mound and everything?
No, I didn't
Yes,
want the
she did. We wanna do an island. Yes, she did.
mound. I did not want the mound. I
So it
wanted.
sound like
can
it's
I say something,
You know what?
please?
Go
ahead, Benny.
Go ahead, buddy.
I give up.
I'm gonna say this, I've said it before. The problem begins when you have an individual board member telling staff what to do. We do not do that. It's not within our power, and there's where it goes wrong. I'm not saying she did anything wrong. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. The board said plant a few trees. She has a nice, beautiful thing, and maybe he interpreted it as, wow, y'all are hammering me about swales, you're hammering me about this, and you're hammering me about that, and then she wants to do all this. So I think we've got a lack of communication, probably, misunderstanding on both sides.
Yeah.
She's expecting something, he's expecting something, and then we've had, but if we do not have individual board members coming down here telling staff what to do, we don't have this, and it's not within the 298. I've said it since the day I got here. None of us has the authority to do so. None of us. The board agrees, we draw out the plan, and John, stop me if I'm wrong, the chairman can say, what are we doing? This is what the board agreed. Or not him, this is what the board agreed. I'm checking for the board, because he is the chairman. But none of us. Now, we come down, we ask favors, we make suggestions, it's all great. But I've been on this soapbox not since I got here, since the last 12 years I was here. It causes problems when we do so. Denise has got the best intentions, I believe. Of course. I see what she wants to do, but this guy's being hammered about get this done, and maybe he misunderstood and they didn't communicate properly. So he sees that and he goes, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? So, if we're gonna do this, next meeting, let's come up with a plan that we wanna do, let the board instruct him. We'll all get together, you show us what you want, let's show him, and then let's say, this is what you need to do. Or, you know what, we don't have time and we're not gonna do it. And I think that will stop all of this.
So here's what we have to do, because
I need to talk also.
Oh, yeah, so
Yes,
you're gonna talk, we're gonna talk, so we gotta finish this up, because I gotta bring something up as well. But again, as Louis said, and Denise said, and I do remember as well, we have approved of this, so we need to figure out how to make it happen and come to some happy medium to make this happen and figure it out how to make it happen.
I just think we need a plan.
A plan and a
Yes,
budget.
a good plan.
Benny, you might not be aware of this, and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
might not be aware of this.
Okay.
When I was chair,
All right.
those bathrooms that I walked into in the playground, I told them those bathrooms are done. Get rid of the sinks and get rid of the toilets. Of course, I didn't put it in writing, because I thought he was gonna do it. I just found out 2 weeks ago that he's taking out the bathrooms from the outside. That was 2 years ago that I said that.
But you said that or the board said that?
I said that to him.
You don't have that authority, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The
So I know-
board has to do it, not you.
In order for him to do the bathrooms, you know how many things he's done without the board telling him to do?
Well, exactly, but my point, Denise, is that you, and even as a chair, you can't come up with your agenda and tell him what to do, because he doesn't have to do it. It's not within
Okay.
his scope of power.
So-
That's where I'm trying to tell
So
you.
therefore,
We don't have that power.
what you're telling me
None of
is
us.
that he has more power than you guys do,
No.
and that we do.
Individually, yes. As a
Because,
board, no.
because if the board agreed on this,
Well, if the board
Okay.
agrees, it's a different story.
agreed on it, look at the outside. Those trees that are
Yeah.
outside, he put mulch on it. I told him to please put mulch on it. He put mulch on the
Ms.
grass.
Denise, that's another email that you were not supposed to send me.
On the grass.
Hold on, Louis has one, but you guys are going back and forth. Louis, go ahead, so we're gonna close this up real soon.
This is very simple.
Yes, sir.
I'm not doing anything.
Ms. Miller.
Yes, thank you for calling me Ms. Miller, not Mr. Neal. Go ahead.
Simple,
Start on me.
simple. Get a little piece of paper.
Uh-huh.
I ain't joking. Get a little piece of paper, make a little roll of that, and then you put a next whenever you want a little tree. Okay, a plant or whatever, and then over here you say, you want a mango tree here, and you want an avocado tree here, whatever. Bring it to the board,
Yes.
we look at it, and we don't agree with avocados, we go with papayas, and that's it. We all board, and then we present it to him and get it done. I recall, that's why I say, look at the minutes, that we gave the authority to Denise to lead the project because it was her project. So I don't think she was out of bounds. And anyway, because we gave her the power to do that.
I remember
I
that.
checked the minutes.
That's when he's accepting
I don't
that.
recall a
It's not
conversation
that.
about trees,
It's not
but
that.
nobody having.
The only conversation we have about the trees, Mr. Navarro, I will be more than pleased to make Montura
Excuse me.
more.
Look. We're beating a dead horse.
Yes,
Get a piece of paper,
let's move forward, yes.
make a little plan, a battle plan, the trees here, bring it back to us, we look at it, oh yeah, we like it, okay, I mean, you'll get it done, that's
And
it.
that's how we need to do it.
Now let me ask you one simple question. Mr. Alvarez, how would you have reacted to a manager telling you, I'm not doing any of that?
I would have had to suck it up and remember,
I walked away.
We do not have
I
that
walked
right.
away.
When you don't have the authority, you're wrong. I'm sorry to say it, but if I would have said that to him and he
I
said,
walked away.
hey, go blow your nose, I'd have had to say, okay, because
Okay.
guess what?
So
I
I
put
walked
myself
away.
somewhere
Because he
that
keeps telling me that he doesn't answer to us.
he answers to us, not to us individually. That's exactly right.
Okay, when will we have that conversation?
All right, it done got out of hand. We're gonna
Say that all
close
the time.
it. So we're gonna close this subject.
Make a motion to adjourn,
No,
Mr.
no,
Chairman.
not yet.
Denise, before you
So,
leave, I
hold
don't
on.
talk to you before you leave.
Hold
Okay?
on.
Don't let it
So
get
just to
away.
let you know,
I won't.
Armenia, we will get you a plan so we can
Yes.
start this beautification
Denise, please, get
process.
a plan.
I'm not going to.
We're going, if she doesn't do it, I'll do it.
No, she just won't do it. She's got the
We're
ideas.
going to put a
I don't wanna
beautification-
deal with
Denise, hold
anybody.
on, I'm the chairman, hold on. Everybody, please respect at least the position. We're gonna put a plan in place, we'll figure out something, we'll make it in motion, you will make it happen. And another thing, just so everybody knows, you do, and everybody that reports to you, you guys do report to the board. As he said, you don't report to us individually, I hope we have that respect, I'm pretty sure we do, but you guys do take direction from the board. You do have your authority, we allow you, we give you everything, every tool to do your job.
I do have that very clear.
Yes, sir.
I do have that very clear. The only thing I don't appreciate is somebody
I
going
understand.
into my office screaming, telling me what to do.
I
That I do
understand.
not appreciate.
So the most important thing is, again, you get direction from the board. If you get direction from a single board member, whether it be myself, Benny, Louis, Bruno at this present moment, or Denise, you know, let's, we can be
For the
professional.
record, I already got on that wagon, so.
Okay, good deal. So, all right, so with that thing, do you have anything else, Denise, or are you
No,
good?
no.
Okay, and then,
I just want you to know that I walked away because
it's a good thing.
because I answer to an authority,
Okay,
okay? And I felt disrespected
okay,
at that moment,
okay,
okay? Yes, I felt anger, but I walked away
all right,
because I do answer to a higher authority
okay,
that tells me that I have to put up with whatever comes my way.
okay.
That's
I
all.
do too.
Well, we appreciate that, so thank you.
All the
So,
board.
we'll leave that so we can go.
Okay, that's it. Drop the
So,
on my part.
and my last thing as far as, man, you don't let me forget, we went into this tangent here.
What?
John, you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay, so can we get a motion to
Now,
adjourn
we're
the
talking
meeting?
about mangoes.
You were gonna say
Oh,
something.
I know, I lost my train of thought.
Hey, you plant
So-
tomatoes, they take them.
So watch,
Think a minute.
I won't say what I need to say. So let's go ahead, can we get a motion on the floor to adjourn?
Yes, we have them.
Motion to
We already have
Motion
one.
second,
Yeah.
Second.
I mean-
all in favor, aye. Thank you, everyone, meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.
No.
John, I need to discuss something with you.